Welcome to Pensar Basketball Live. On this live, we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about Pascal Siakam. We're going to be talking about the future. Was a Josh Lewenberg report talking about how the Raptors might have maybe burned a bridge or two with Pascal Siakam this offseason, going back to last year. Whether or not that's fair, Scottie Barnes talked to the media for the first time since the O.G Anunoby trade. We're going to hear from him. We're going to hear from Darko Rajakovic on what he plans to do with Steph Curry and why the league is shifting towards quick guards and offense. And it's very interesting. During last night's live, which it basically became a trade show between myself and Leo, we talked a lot about trades for Pascal Siakam. And it's interesting because really, if you think about it, a lot of what you get from Pascal Siakam, you already got back in the O.G Anunoby trade. So now what you need to do, in my opinion, is you need to get back O.G Anunoby for Pascal Siakam. Can you do that by trading Pascal Siakam for O.G Anunoby? No, because the Knicks have no need. This is about roster construction, roster balance. But I want to point to a play last night, which was particularly egregious. And it's not isolated. This has been happening all year. But it's stuff like this. And I think De'Aaron Fox and John Morant are very good examples of the type of guards that give most teams trouble. But when you think about how the Raptors played, I don't know, a guy like Anthony Edwards early in the year, a downhill attack guard who often uses screens at the top and then, forces your entire defense into switch and scramble. You look at a play like this. Here we go. So on this play, Scottie Barnes closes out a little bit out of control, but justifiably, he's not quick enough to guard De'Aaron Fox. No one is. But he closes out to De'Aaron Fox from the paint. He notices Fox is open, so he runs him off the line, which is the first step. Then what happens is Immanuel quickly will sort of force middle, right? He'll funnel him towards Chris Boucher, who's already getting into a bit of a recover. And right now, there's a couple of things that we can go into what should be happening. So at the edge of your screen on the right side, you have Keegan Murray, and he's open. And that's Immanuel Quickley's guy. Then you have Siakam sort of touching Malik Monk. You have Chris Boucher trying to cut off the passing angle to Domantas Sabonis, which would be the easy pass for, if he doesn't recover right now, that's a straight pass and a dunk for Domantas Sabonis. So basically, as this play extends forward, you start to see where the gap is in the Raptors defense because it results in this. Now, a lot of things had to happen, and probably this is the easiest way to show you this would be to actually show you the clip, but I'm not really in the mood to get demonetized right now. And yeah, I think it's good to study frames as well and to understand what exactly has happened here. What's happened is Dennis has recovered to Harrison Barnes. Scottie Barnes kind of got lost on the play, but he's trying to recover from behind. So maybe to offer a little bit of pressure and resistance, to De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, Fox, this is a terrible position for a defender to be in. Fox could put him in jail and then, just bump back and maybe draw a foul. The Raptors give up stuff like this all the time because the problem with the Raptors defense right now is they lack an OG Anunoby. In a Pascal Siakam trade, you need to get something of that sort back. Now, how many OG Anunobys are in this league? There are exactly one. And you had him, and you traded him, and you got back a hell of a great package, right? I think we would all agree as Raptor fans that we are very pleased with Immanuel Quickley, regardless of how poorly he played last night. That going forward at a 24-year-old player, we got, a real offensive weapon here. And RJ Barrett, he had his first positive box plus minus game last night. He posted negative box plus minus 2 straight games. And this game was good. I think it was a mild, like 1.3, 1.4 box plus minus positive. It's great. Jonte Porter, who posted a negative 19 box plus minus in his first game, posted a team leading positive 6 last night, 6.2. So overall, really, if you look at this frame, who's the guy not guarding anybody right now, right? Boucher is trying to, you see Immanuel Quickley. He's sort of doing the right thing. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go about this, right? So we thought about it. I like this channel to be educational, so let me just point it this way. If Immanuel Quickley closes off and switches, right now he's forcing right. By the time Fox gets to him, he's just going to be there. He's not going to stop him. He's not getting in the position to charge. Chris Boucher does his job too. He closes off the passing angle to Domantas Sabonis. Dennis Schroeder does his job by getting out and recovering to the shooter. Siakam technically is guarding Malik Monk. But by the time this play comes around, Monk is actually, he's gone. He's out of the play because he did the right thing. He got out of the way. Like he decided to space out so that Siakam had to follow him, so he couldn't offer help. Now, there's one of two ways to play this. Number one is a dangerous one, which leaves a very good corner shooter open, which would be that Emmanuel quickly switches over, right, onto De'Aaron Fox, and then points Scottie Barnes to the corner shooter in Keegan Murray, who Scottie Barnes is very good at locating shooters, so he would probably see it already. But Quickly doesn't do that. Quickly decides instead to force Fox into help, which would be Chris Boucher and or he's forcing him into Chris Boucher, really. He's just trying to take away the right side. He's trying to force him more towards the middle of the paint. The other, option naturally is for Siakam to react that, hey, Quickly has done his job. He's boxed out. He's got inside position on Monk, right? He's sort of still in position that if Keegan Murray were to get the ball, he would still be there for a late contest. But at this point, I think, unless you're expecting Chris Boucher to guard two people, especially two all-stars in Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, it's Pascal Siakam who has to recover. Now, there's one quick thing that I would say right here. This entire play doesn't happen if one little switch, one little adjustment, and this is a coaching adjustment, could be made. Put Scottie Barnes where Pascal Siakam is and put Pascal Siakam where Scottie Barnes is, and you don't have this play because I'll guarantee you that most likely Scottie Barnes is able to recover. Not that Siakam is not able to recover, but I've already pointed out he's posting his worst block percentage of the year. He's not a good rim protector. To those who say that the Raptors haven't tried to build around Siakam, I mean, please understand, he was in the lower third of the defense for much of last season as Fred, basically couldn't guard a soul, at the point of attack. He was more of a help recover kind of guy. Gary's gapping passing lanes. So Scottie was your point of attack defender with OG last year. These were the guys drawing the hard matchups, chasing guys over screens. And it wasn't pretty. But it wasn't pretty because when they got beat, there was nothing behind them. When Christian Koloko was on the floor, he offered something, but he's a rookie, right? And offensively, he was bleeding for you. So yeah, the lineups with Christian Koloko worked defensively, but offensively, they couldn't. They couldn't hold water. So really, what is the big matzo ball? What's the big elephant in the room here? The elephant in the room is you don't have a defensive role for Pascal Siakam other than a hidden defender. And he's too talented and too big and too long and too switchable and too versatile to put him on the worst player. But really, the way modern offenses are going, there's no more worst players. Every player is a threat. There's no Jason Kapono that you can hide a bad defender on. Do you know what I mean? There's no guy that just stands in the corner. This is why Sasha Vezenkov, who I incorrectly, by the way, last night accidentally mentioned was Serbian. He is Bulgarian, Greek. I apologize to anyone who caught that end of the live. So that's the problem. At every single point, you are absolutely relying on this guy to rotate, cover, close the gap, and he's so often not doing it for you. And I am just shocked that media members who have a brain, who study the film, who see the tape, right, and are able to critically call out other players' defensive woes. And there are many to go around. Scottie's not a perfect defender. Fred was not a perfect defender. OG was very good, but when he was about to leave, he was pretty not very good. Like he was nothing close to what he's been for New York. And I heard it. I heard it from these people. They were like, yeah, OG's taking a step back. He's soft quitting. He's this, he's that. Okay, well, where is the Siakam critique on a play like this? Why does he not get enough flack for the way the Raptors paint defense was last year? Is it because he was good at scrambling out to, shooters in the corner, or they blamed it on a scheme? No, last year, the excuse was he's carrying such a large load for you on offense, you can't burn him out on defense. And I understand that, and I get that. But right now, you're burning out your best offensive player in Scottie Barnes on defense. chasing around screens, when really it is way more effective to have him in the lower third of the defense. Why? Why are we doing this? It's so clear. He thrives there. We've seen it. We've seen like 4 blocks, 5 blocks. He's a good guy down there. He's also a better rebounder. So putting him lower in your defense has so many good things for you. How many times this year have the Raptors gotten killed on the glass? He's a better rebounder. To put him into an inside position in your defense, to put him as the last line of defense, allows him to make good decisions. It also allows him to communicate much better. He is a better communicator. He's one of your best communicators. He, Emmanuel Quickley, Dennis Schroeder, these are the guys that actually talk on defense. The rest of these guys, they don't say shit. So Jakob Poeltl, okay, yeah, him too. And he tries. But I mean, like, you need a loud, vocal, communicative defender who reads, reacts to situations very well and can sort of map and see the game. And, you know, very often, if you're someone who has a good eye for the game, you know where the ball is going. I mean, you're seeing it from the vantage point of a television screen. You know where the ball is going. So the point here is that having a bad decision maker who often ball watches and doesn't box out his man in the lower third of your defense is going to kill you. And it has. And it has constantly. So my only thought process was, why would they do this? If their goal is to win games, why wouldn't you put Siakam as your point of attack defender? If he gets beat, at the very least, you have capable help, right? His job, granted, when you tried that earlier in the season, I think your defense was better. Was it not? The analytics say it was. You know, the defense has slipped a lot. And I think a lot of smart people are wondering why they have Scottie so high if what's behind him isn't very effective. You don't have Christian Koloko. You've lost Precious Achiuwa. You know, a lot of your rim protection and defense and rebounding went out the door to the New York trade. And you didn't exactly get like world beater defenders back. Emmanuel Quickley is a very good player, but he is 6'2". And he is not like some lockdown point of attack defender. He's not Jones Suggs. He's not, you know, Drew Holiday in his prime. He is a good recover guy. He's a good help defender. He has a lot of strengths. And I think the point of attack stuff will come with him. He'll get better for sure. But you lost a lot defensively and you gained a lot offensively. So the point now is, in a trade for Siakam, we've heard that the Raptors want 2 rotation players back, right? They also opened up another roster spot, although now I'm wondering if that roster spot will go to Jonte Porter. He's been very good for them. But the only reason to do this would be if you expect to replace Siakam eventually with a player who is much better at doing what he's doing in the defense, which means that you give Scottie his sort of point of attack reps. Now, you know, burn him out a little bit. Sure. I think his shooting will struggle. His offense will struggle if you continue to make him do this, especially on a guy like De'Aaron Fox. I cannot imagine that's an optimal matchup. But he's not bad. He's not bad. He's not a bad point of attack defender. He's just limited. He'll get beat once in a while. But when he gets beat, he's also like really active and he can trail and he can offer plenty of, you know, defensive pressure from behind, even if he does get beat. He's good. He recovers well, is what I'm saying. He doesn't just get beat and then dies and, you know, goes down to the other end to play offense. No, he tries, he competes, and he's long and he's disruptive and he can force steals. And I think, yeah, sure, I'll argue for sure, if you have a better point of attack defender than him, he would be much better as a help defender because he can get into passing lanes and he can do weak side shot blocking. But what if you could find someone who was, in theory, even better than him at that? And that's where we are going to talk about Jonathan Kuminga and Jarace Walker. We're also going to get to know Jarace Walker a little bit better. We're going to look at some interviews. I'm going to tell you what I see in him. You're going to look at some highlights. And overall, I think, you know, give you an idea of who this player is, despite the fact that in order to really get a gauge of who he is, you haven't really been able to see much of it in the NBA. You'd have to study his college tape, or you'd have to go watch him for the G League. So first, let's hear from Darko Rajakovic, and we will see what Darko has to say.
Basketball person, how big a fan are you of Steph Curry?
As a basketball person, I love him. As a coach, I hate playing against him. He's just like amazing in every single aspect. Actually, a couple of years ago, I had the chance to watch Steph Curry play in a World Cup under 18 in Serbia. Yes, and they ended up being second. Serbia won in the finals. I'm just saying, but even at that time, like, he was outstanding. I was in contact with his coach, with Bob McKillop from college, and a couple of years ago, he sent me an email saying like, oh, like, look at this, what you said about Steph Curry. I completely forgot about it, but I was raving about him and talent and shooting and whatnot. I did not see this type of career coming, obviously, but he was always talented, always capable to shoot the ball, always capable to change the game with everything he does. And I really don't know where the motor is coming from. Like, I see all the skill, but like, to every single night, teams are trying to best the best defenders and best coverages and to make it really hard, and he always finds the way to be efficient and to contribute.
I was going to say, sorry, Doug, did you not find there's almost like, it seems like every second team has not Steph Curry, but some version of Steph Curry, like in terms of a point guard who can stretch a defense, can punish you because of their range and their ability to put it on the floor?
Correct, Michael. That's what's going on. Literally, like, Steph Curry, the style of the play and them being pretty much unguardable for a long time, affected other teams to go and look for the next guy. Who is that next guy that can do that? And it's not necessarily the size, it's not necessarily physical attributes, it's really shooting ability and skill ability. And that's where the league has changed the last 7, 8, 10 years, in the ability to multiple players to be amazing shooters off the dribble, off the move, great skill finishing at the rim. That's where the league is going.
Now you see young kids trying to be like Steph. Like back 15 years ago, no one thought to shoot from 35 feet. Now, teenagers are all firing up from out there. Is it a good development?
I'll correct you on that one, because when I played 20-something years ago, I tried to be Steph Curry. I tried to shoot the deep range shots and whatnot. I did not make mine, and I was on the bench quite a bit because of that. Yes, definitely. And it's interesting that in this league, who's going to really inspire kids and young players is guards, because they're going to identify, like, you have much more kids that are going to be 6 feet tall and 6'2" than you have 7-footers out there. So they're going to look at Steph Curry's of the world as their examples and role models.
This is a team that can still obviously have the three, be a threat. What revealed itself to you as you guys were looking at film today?
It's just like a relentless pursuit of those guys and off-ball movements and the way they're using screens. They're not running complicated plays, but they run with a lot of efficiency, with a lot of force, with a lot of counters to the play. So all you can do in a games like this against players like that is try to break their patterns and to make it really hard on them. And that's what we're hoping to do tomorrow. And when they make some tough shots, we got to leave it there, inbound the ball, and go quickly on the other side.
You talked about last night, the way the game's officiated has changed to sort of help the guys like Curry and Thompson out, right? You can't be physical with guards anymore. Does that sort of feed into what they do so well?
That's part of the reason for sure. It's hard to be physical, especially in pick and rolls, any kind of putting hands there, they're getting foul calls. All ball screens, still you can have a little bit of leverage there, being a little bit more physical, but like pick and rolls and handoffs are becoming almost unguardable when they're coming with that kind of force and skill and pace, and you're not allowed to do much physically. So we'll see how he's going to react today after the practice. We're hopeful that he's going to be available to play tomorrow, but we still don't know.
Scottie, I just want to ask you a little bit about, you've had 3 games now with this new kind of line.
I just want to throw something out there. So a lot of what he said is so funny because he's one of the coaches, they say that being a teacher is an archetype. Like, you can't turn it off. Like, if you're a teacher, you're a teacher. You just teach. I think Darko is doing good things for our media. I think he's making them smarter. It's like literally the Toronto Star has been paying for Doug Smith to travel with the team for years, a massive expense, and quite frankly, dead money, if you ask me. And, who knows? Maybe, at the age of, I don't know how old he is right now. I don't want to guesstimate, probably 70. Doug Smith might actually learn about the sport that he's been trying to cover through Darko Rajakovic. So I'm very appreciative of Darko Rajakovic for maybe making our media a little bit smarter. certainly I think the coverage has been a lot more, even if I think it's a little bit biased, and even if I think it's slanted, and I think that, some guys aren't covered as fairly as others, it has been more evolved this year. I'll say the conversations around this team have been a lot more evolved. So I like that. And to the point of, what the Kings running is not complicated. He's right. It's not. The difference is that personnel matters more than scheme, right? You put great players in the basketball court, they will figure it out. Gravity and space is something that I've talked about on this channel going back to last year a lot. I've said that the best defender is one who can take away space. The best offensive player is the one who can maximize space. So when I think about guys that I want back, right? For Pascal Siakam, because Pascal Siakam creates a ton of space as well. Despite not being like the greatest shooter, he's a big athlete, right? He's a guy who attacks quick. He has a quickness advantage over bigs. This can create space. It can disrupt space. He can cut into space. If he was to completely buy in and commit to this offense, I think he could be phenomenal. And that's why I think he's going to be phenomenal at his next stop if he goes somewhere else. You need to get some of that space back. Now, consider, a player that we talked about yesterday in the Kings trade, Sasha Vezenkov. A great shooter, right? A phenomenal shooter. Can't dribble, limited athlete. So which means that when he catches the ball, if you take away the shot and you run him off the line, I'm not saying it's over. He cuts without the ball. He has good basketball IQ. But you see what I mean. When you're limited in one way, then the team can kind of scheme against it. When you look at a guy like Emmanuel Quickley, you're not doing anything very different for Emmanuel Quickley than you were for Dennis Schroeder. The difference is he's just a better player. He's a deep shooter. Defenses have to come up. And when they come up, they lose space. He can drive past them. They lose space. When he breaks down his guy, like that play that we just saw with De'Aaron Fox, change one variable here. If De'Aaron Fox is not De'Aaron Fox, Scottie Barnes doesn't have to close out so recklessly, right? Because De'Aaron Fox can shoot. If that was John Morant, who's a weaker shooter than De'Aaron Fox, then you don't have to run him off the line. You can just contest. You can dip and contest, right? Maximizing offensive talent like this, and this is why the Raptors, I think, went after a guy like Emmanuel Quickley, because he maximizes space on offense. He recovers some of the space that you're inevitably going to lose if you lose a guy like Pascal Siakam. He also recovers some of the load and creation responsibilities. So does RJ Barrett. Not exactly O.G Anunoby strong suits, by the way. Anyways, let's get to Scottie Barnes.
And I know it was, like obviously you missed some of your older teammates or your former teammates, but are you kind of enjoying this new?
For sure. We play hard each and every single game. Play with a lot of energy. You guys bring a lot of joy to our team. We all camaraderie really good with each other. So it's been good.
And Quick in particular, what about his game do you think fits well with you?
He shoots the ball really well. Being able to get downhill, draw fouls, finish at the cup. He does a lot of good things on the floor. He's not, he can guard as well.
You look around the league, there's so many of these younger point guards who can, it's almost like just Steph Curry's offspring kind of thing. They all kind of can shoot it. They have a lot of those kind of attributes. It's probably nice to have one on your team as well.
For sure, like I said, you see he shoots the ball really well. You see he runs away, comes back, shoots it. That helps our team. Helps us get on a run, helps us get a flow, helps us keep that space that we need.
Always talking about playing with joy and playing with fun, and you just brought up the same word, joy. How important is that to a team?
That's very important. It's a long season. Sometimes you lose games. Some guys can get their head down, but win, lose, just being able to bring that joy into the next day, that's something special.
Darko seems to be able to bring that out in players with his personality, sort of very supportive, always happy. Is it important to a player to have the coach in that kind of mood?
For sure. He always stays positive no matter what. I feel like that helps our team.
This time of year, there's a lot of trade rumors. We went through it a little bit last year. You've seen your first teammates get traded. How has it affected you? How have you kind of learned to deal with that element of the business?
This is the most, let's say, y'all remember Marshawn Lynch? I'm just here so I don't get fined. This is the first time I think in a long time I have seen Scottie be like directly defiant to the media, and it's really funny. Just listen to it.
I'm really here to trade rumors, but you know, I don't know. I don't really know.
Do you just kind of tune it out, or do you sort of
I don't see it.
Yeah. How do you manage not to see it?
I just don't pop up on my stuff.
Yeah. Say that again. Sorry.
So it just doesn't pop up on my feed.
Yeah. It's a good feed then. You're doing a good job. What does pop up on your feed then?
I don't know.
What does pop up in your feed? I don't know. I know, but it's funny. It's hilarious. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. You could like so. Funny thing is when people have a thought that they can't say, they smile at the thought. So I'm not here for a psychology lesson, bro. Just get to the basketball.
I think on Open Gym, Doing Quick had a pretty elaborate handshake thing already figured out.
Now we're trying to figure it out right now. We don't got nothing yet, but we're trying to figure it out. We said we was gonna work on it after practice, actually.
So when you say you work on it, like how much, like what will you do? You just kind of
No, you just gotta happen in the moment.
And then how many different handshakes do you know for this team?
None. I only got one with Chris. That's it.
Okay, all right. But I mean, it takes time to master that stuff.
Yes, you just gotta figure out what you want to do, what you guys both like, and that's how you put it together.
And just rep it out.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Do these people know how funny they are or how funny they sound? I'm paying for Grange and Doug Smith to just travel on the road with this team. King Kylie saying, what kind of question is this? Facts. Okay. So let's get to the rumor, the report from Josh Lewenberg. Now, obviously, some channels are going to be very upset about this. I'm not being upset because this is just a rumor. It's based on what someone thinks, what someone said, but it's out there. So let's talk about it for a sec. Okay, it's led to a couple of league sources to wonder whether the Raptors' unusual and at times disrespectful treatment of Siakam dating back to last summer has been intended to force his hand or worse, push him out. Why? Okay. Something like that is hard to fathom. And if there's any truth to it would be even tougher to condone given what Siakam and the organization have meant to each other. And been through together over the past 8 seasons. Siakam came to Toronto as a relatively unknown 27th overall pick out of Cameroon and has evolved into a 2-time All-Star, an All-NBA player, an NBA champion, and at worst, a top 30 player in the league, and a top 5 player in franchise history, one of the most remarkable success stories in pro sports. At worst, top 30? What stats is this guy reading? Okay. I'm so proud of him, quote, Ujiri said, after Siakam overcame his on and off struggles and off-season shoulder surgery to reclaim his pre-pandemic form during the team's feel-good 48-win 2021-2022 campaign. I want that guy on my team. I want that kind of fighter on my team. That's who we went to war with. Okay. Quick note. So I know that a lot of content creators don't consume other people's content. I know that. How do I know that? Because I've heard them. I've heard them say it. They don't give a shit what other content creators are doing. I'm not like that. I'm obsessed. I'm a sicko. I actually watch other people's content.
Jarace, how'd the workout go today?
Good. Oh, my bad. Let's go back for a second. So I'm a sicko. I actually listen to what other people say because I need to know what you guys are hearing. I look at what other channels our viewers watch. I'll look at what channels are popping off. I'll look at what video got 50,000 views, not to mimic it. I'm not mimicking anybody. I just want to know what is the information being put out. I'll go into Twitter space for half an hour and just listen to what people are saying. These call-in shows are educational. They may be therapeutic, but they're also educational for me to understand how the fan base feels. It's good to have a pulse on what people think. And I won't make the same mistake I made last year where I directly point out the person doing this. But I will say that there has been a concerted effort on the part of the media to do a couple of things over the last few weeks. Number one, to suggest that Masai Ujiri is underhanded or unfair or not a man of his word. Okay. There's been a lot of that has been put out by very prominent media members. Okay. Very prominent, very well respected, some of you definitely respect that dude. Some of these dudes. There's been nudging in the direction of Masai just talks to talk. He breaks his promises all the time. One, thing that has been referenced constantly is, him talking about Delano Banton and Jeff Doughton being a part of the team's future, and then ultimately they're not on the team anymore. And there's just this notion of don't trust this guy. Don't trust him. Don't take him on his word. Now, when you set up that first domino, then the second domino is very easy. It's very easy, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? How does information flow through the ethos or through the atmosphere, right? I plant one thought in your head, then I plant the second thought, and then the third thought, and then boom, I give you the story. And now, right now, you can't plant a story that Scottie Barnes doesn't work hard, right? You can't. It's not possible because he's literally the most improved three-point shooter of all time right now, per his analytics and per his stats. Year to year is the most anyone's ever improved their three-point shooting. So you can't make that argument. He's in better shape. So you can't make the argument, right? But when it comes to the secrecy and veiled sources, the unknown sources, inside sources, league executives, this stuff is fluff. It's not true. But notice, you can't confirm it. I mean, you trust, obviously, that if it's coming from Shams or Woj or, one of these guys that are league insiders, you trust naturally that it's coming from a source. But what is that source? Who is that source? What is their intention? All they need is a blue check mark and boom, they're a source. Last year, I mean, it's one thing when it's very veiled, right? It's very thinly veiled. It's backroom stuff. It's another thing when it happens publicly. See, last year, naturally, David Thorpe went on the Raptors show and told Will Lou, opined, suggested, pontificated that Scottie Barnes didn't work hard. And boom, we had a story that he doesn't work hard. And then we got a confirmed league insider says Scottie Barnes doesn't work hard. This is how this stuff happens. You see, because if I have a trusted scout within the Raptors organization that doesn't like somebody, and he just comes out and says, Masai Ujiri broke promises to me, then you have, the basis. And guys sit on stuff all the time. Not everyone is in the rat race of Woj and Shams. These low level, I don't want to call them low level. There are agents in this league who cover, who represent 3 athletes, 5 athletes. They reach out to small media members all the time. There are trainers who train maybe 4 NBA players. They are accessible to not the masses, but even smaller outlets and smaller websites and channels. There are guys who leak to Clutch Sports. Who's Clutch Sports? No offense to Clutch Sports, but what is, So everyone's got their horse in the game because everyone wants to break the big story, and everyone's got these little inside sources. And so this planting of information and this setting up, cueing and priming, really it's priming. You're priming the audience to mistrust Masai Ujiri so that when a story like this comes out, right, you can buy it. You can believe it. Raptors Twitter is a mess. But one of the things that is just a constant talking point among Raptor fans, especially Siakam fans, is that the Raptors are doing Siakam dirty. And this entire article and the general talking points of some of the bigger channels on YouTube that cover the Raptors have been such. There's a conspiracy against Siakam. Started earlier in the season when he was sort of being used as a burn cutter and his usage was low. And there was a lot of, what are the Raptors doing to Siakam? They're trying to lower his value. No. it makes it seem like there's a conspiracy against Siakam, which is being orchestrated by the Raptors front office. There's reports that they ghosted him. I find that very hard to believe. The problem with the Raptors, unfortunately, is that they're not bad people. Like the people who run this team are not bad people. I think they're good people. If they were bad people, you would see splashes of inside stuff about things that Pascal Siakam has or hasn't done, or Fred had or hadn't done, that would negate or counter some of these narratives that these guys are putting out themselves, right? So now you got to understand, like, if you're a classy organization, you don't fight in the tabloids, right? You try to keep it a buck. You try to keep it above the belt. So just because, some report or some murmurs or some rumors are out there that you're doing Siakam dirty, it doesn't mean that if you're a good organization that you start slinging mud back and start saying, well, okay, you think we're doing him dirty. Here's the 14 things that he's done to screw us over. I think that's an ethical way to go. But ethics don't always correspond to ethics. Just because you treat someone well does not mean that they're going to treat you well back. Okay? I think that this thing with Fred VanVleet last year, DeMar DeRozan, there's been a lot of Kyle Lowry. I talked about it towards the end of last night's live, and you're free to go back and get a lengthy explanation on last night's live about why I think the Raptors' relationship with Pascal Siakam is broken down to the point that it has on both sides. But I would just like to say that this notion that the Raptors are doing him dirty, this is a business. He has been made aware. He's not unaware that they're shopping him. Rumors are that they've been shopping him for the better part of 3 years. I think this fan base probably is split on whether that's a great thing or a bad thing. But the problem for the Raptors is they elevated this guy to the status of superstar through their media, marketing, need to fill seats, need to maintain the championship momentum. And then they realized he just wasn't that guy. He wasn't a playoff number one. There wasn't enough cap space or talent or interest to bring in a guy number two. And if there was, a chance for an upgrade, for Kevin Durant or Dame Lillard, he was the thing that was going out the other way because he makes a lot of money. Is this unethical? You really think it's like I don't want to say he didn't earn it. Do you think like there was a justifiable excuse for the Raptors to lowball him a little bit after the championship run? Like, he was a playoff number 2. He's a late first round guy. He hadn't really made an all-star team or an all-NBA team. They maxed him out regardless. You don't think that was a little bit like a show of faith, good faith? And you'll say he won a championship. Like, no, a team won a championship. He benefited drastically from that championship as well, just like all players did. Every player, Kyle Lowry included. Kawhi Leonard included. Everyone benefited from the championship. MLSC, Nick Nurse negotiating his contract. Everyone benefited. And they tried to take care of everybody. When Kawhi Leonard left, they didn't throw anything against him. They didn't say, oh, he promised us one thing and then he misled us. All the reporting about, oh, Uncle Dennis wants this and that and he's being super unfair. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that Masai Ujiri is this bad guy who's just lying and screwing over everybody and behind the scenes ghosting people. I refuse. Like, there's this notion that he hasn't done his job for 3 years. Again, I refuse. This is not a long-standing defense of, like, I'm not defending everything he's done. He's made mistakes for sure. I think that the team has fallen off a little bit. But please understand, there's one thing between, this guy's having a cold streak on his job and this guy is literally mentally checked out, doesn't care about anything other than Africa basketball, is doing guys dirty, is being unethical. And it starts with just this priming. There's already stuff about there, right? There's already the DeMar story where, he lied to him. And that becomes like the first domino. And then boom, you just keep piling on it. You just build on it, and you build a story. And then eventually it crescendos to something like this, where you have a Sportsnet reporter who works for the company that owns the Raptors, in theory, they should be in cahoots, shouldn't they? Effectively writing an article, which if I read it without any knowledge, I come away thinking that Masai Ujiri is a huckster. Is that the right word? Hustler or a huckster? Huckster. I think that's like a scam artist. I don't think that's true. I think he's been pretty noble and pretty direct with players. I think he's had really, really good communication with players. Not perfect, but this I refuse to buy. Okay. I don't think he's washed, but I think he has a type. And I think his type is O.G Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. So really at this point, in terms of a roster build, there's certain things you need on a roster for it to add up to something. And I think most people could agree that the Raptors the Raptors roster build for the last couple of years has been a little bit weird, haywire, not very, good, right? And it's been partially due to deadweight contracts like Goran Dragic, Thaddeus Young, Cam Birch, etc. It's been partially because you can't hit on any of these second round picks or, two-way contracts. Partially because your free agent signings like Aaron Baines didn't work out. This is just blown opportunity after blown opportunity after blown opportunity. Just letting guys walk out the door. Make matters worse, some of the guys who walked out the door actually did better elsewhere, but none of them have really popped off. You didn't let go of, Desmond Bane. I mean, you didn't draft Desmond Bane. Maybe that hurts too. But it's not like Yuta Watanabe. He became a serviceable role player. It's Steve Mihalik. He pops off every now and again, most likely against the Raptors. These guys, Ish Wainwright, these guys are just guys. They're just fringy guys. They would help, especially when your team is, employing the Stanley Johnsons of the world. But they're not like deal breakers for me. What would be a deal breaker, however, is letting Pascal Siakam go for nothing in the offseason. And it seems like reports are that the Raptors are not willing to do that. That they're not willing to even entertain the idea of going past the trade deadline without one of two options. Number one, extend him. Number two, trade him. I think they're going to go for door number two. And I think if they go for door number two, there is a type of player that they need back very badly. Let me define that player. Big. Big. He has to be big. He has to be long. He has to be versatile. He has to be switchable. You don't let go of Precious Achiuwa in that New York trade and O.G Anunoby in the same trade. Those two have a lot in common, by the way, physically and, just in terms of the archetype of player that they project to be. You don't let go of both those guys and bring in an abundance of creation in RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley without thinking that on some level, the offers that you're entertaining from these other teams are all OG replacements. And I think there are 3 replacements for OG, potentially. None of them are as good as OG. Please understand that. They're all way younger, like 21, 22 years old. 2 of them have a better contract situation than the other. We're going to talk about 2 of them today. I think I've talked enough about Onyeka Okongwu on this channel. I haven't talked enough about Jonathan Kuminga and Jarace Walker. Boomstick, you just said Kuzma. Oh my gosh. Were you here last year when Draymond would be great? I will be the first to say, yes, Asar would also be great. So exactly. Now you're thinking in the right direction. Now, Asar, the problem is not a great shooter, but you buy low and you develop his shooting. And unlike all those other develop their shooting guys, I think with him, you actually can develop his shot. We're not going to talk about Draymond today because we've been talking about him for 2 days straight and how much he fits. We're not going to talk about Onyeka Okongwu because I think if you do a deal with the Hawks, I would just love to see him back. He's got a very reasonable contract. We're not even going to talk about Denny Avdia, who I think could also be a very interesting fit if you decided to trade Pascal to the Wizards. But why would the Wizards want him? Unless, of course, you're making a deal for Denny Avdia and Kyle Kuzma. That's an interesting trade that we did not entertain yesterday. No, today we're going to talk about Jarace Walker, who is a young player that I adore. Like, truly, this is Dyson Daniels level of love for a player. Okay. Loved him going back to college, Houston. There's so many things to like about him. Let's listen to Jarace Walker for a second talk about himself and get to meet Jarace Walker. I think some of you who maybe didn't follow the draft cycle as closely, to you, this might be new-ish. Make myself.
Jarace, how'd the workout go today?
Good. Good one. Well, I had a good time out there.
Now, you said it was your first one. What are your goals going to a workout like this?
Just to showcase my talent, my skill level, just my versatility on the floor, offense and defense.
Defense is definitely something that stands out when looking at you. What is it that allows you to be so successful on that end of the floor?
I would say my length, my quickness, my size, just real disruptive, and I'm quick with my feet. So just being able to stay in front of smaller guards, but definitely be big enough to guard bigger people as well.
Offensively, what do you think are your strengths that translate best to the next level?
I would say my playmaking, offensive rebounding, and just shot creation. Just getting a shot for myself and just creating for myself and others.
Where do you think you grew the most over your time at Houston?
I would say shooting, for sure. Just being able to stretch the floor, knock down open shots from the three, even mid-range as well. So just my shooting and my touch.
Playing for a coach like Kelvin Sampson, who's coached in college, coached in the NBA, how did that help with your development?
It was major. It was major because he knew exactly what I needed to work on from day one. Just his IQ, his smarts, just his experience. So just being around the game for such a long time definitely helped me, for sure.
Are there any players in the league now that maybe you look up to and model parts of your game after?
I watch a lot of Tatum, a lot of Jaylen Brown, KD, just versatile two-way players who could score the ball, create for themselves and others.
What do you know about the Pacers, and how could you see yourself potentially fitting in here in Indiana?
Definitely a fast-paced team, gets up and down, a lot of pick and rolls, younger team for sure, and I feel like, just my position, my size, how I play would be perfect for the team. I can see myself fitting right in.
We're just a little over 2 weeks away from draft night. Have you thought yet about what it'll feel like when you hear your name called?
I feel like I just got to be there in the moment to feel it. But just excitement, happiness, it's definitely gonna be emotional for sure.
As you can see, and if you've been following him in the G League, a lot of people were a little bit dubious. Why are they not playing him, et cetera, et cetera. It's funny because two guys who are targeted in Raptor trades are Jarace Walker and Kobe Buffkin, neither of whom have played very much as NBA players so far. I think he makes so much sense. I would be pretty much jumping for joy and ecstatic. I'd be, probably throwing a parade if we got him. Why am I so high on him? Well, first of all, I am a believer in movement patterns. Excuse me, I'm gonna itch my nose here. I'm a believer in movement patterns, big time. Okay, I think the way you move around a basketball court tells me a lot about who you are. I believe that he is one of those guys who doesn't have a hell of a lot of weaknesses, especially weaknesses that I feel are uncorrectable. Clearly, he has to get better. He's a very young player, et cetera, et cetera. Physically, he projects as what I consider a future-proof basketball player. What does that mean? It means that offensively and defensively, he is tailor-made physically, mentally for how this game is going. Okay? He is switchable. He's not 1 through 5, but he probably knows that. He's got a lot more self-awareness than Precious Achiuwa, I'll tell you that. His shooting is real. It's very real. I've seen this guy catch movement threes, fading away left, right. It's not trolls. It's not wow, the trolls get a win there. It's not something that you can't develop. And I think right now, the reason the Raptors are prioritizing prospects, Hoodie Mello saying, bro, this guy has made 7 burners this whole live. Yeah, it's just endless. YouTube accounts need to be harder to make, I guess. So I think that someone like this, yes, my gosh, vote Scottie. Vote.nba.com, guys. It's your daily reminder. Vote for Scottie. I almost regret that I've waited 49 minutes into this live to say that. There's a lot to like about Jarace Walker, is what I'm saying. His shooting mechanics are solid. This is not a player like, Pascal Siakam coming out of New Mexico State where you're like, okay, we need to tweak this and tweak that and make it, and we extend it out. No, he shoots, he bombs, and he bombs on high volume. If you've seen him in the G League, he's just letting him go. There's no hesitation. There's great shot preparation. His defensive mechanics in terms of how he moves, when I say movement patterns, he's not a hitchy defender. He's smooth and he's long. He's got a 7-foot wingspan, a 7'2" wingspan, and he's big. He's strong. Like, he's NBA ready. This is only going to get better, right? I think some people are wondering why he's not playing, right? Well, here's the thing. It's very difficult for young players to play as fast as the Indiana Pacers play. You'll notice that they play a lot of guys with some NBA years behind them. Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, none of these guys are rookies or second-year players. They're all older. Obi Toppin is 25. Granted, he came out a little bit late, but he's had some NBA run and some NBA experience. You see guys like Ben Mathurin. You see guys like Ben Shepherd. There's a lot of young guys who are maybe not playing as much as their fan base would want them to play. And I think Jarace Walker being a rookie, you put a rookie in the pace that the Indiana Pacers have to play, with how much defensive responsibilities fall on two players who have to play with Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield, and you'll understand why any power forward probably struggles in that situation, right? So that's not to say that he couldn't thrive. What I am saying, however, is I have no doubt in my mind that if he stays a Pacer, that within 2 to 3 years, you're probably going to see this guy emerge as one of the best power forwards in the league. That's big. That's a big claim. But I'm that high on him. Best power forwards. Okay, like a top 15 power forward in the NBA, but one of the best two-way power forwards in the NBA. And really, there's nothing stopping him from getting even better than that. I've mentioned this with Scottie as well. How you create space, how you get to your spots. How do you stop a player like this from getting to his spots? You don't. You can't. He's too big. He's too strong. His strides are too long. His arms are too long. He's a problem. He's a real problem. And he can space the floor. And he can cover and erase space defensively. I think overall, he's bigger than Paul Millsap, bro. Paul Millsap was like 6'5", 6'6", right? Odin Prime saying, Rob, please send the vote link. We need to vote for Scottie every day. Yeah. It's vote.nba.com. Maria saying, is Gary Trent Jr. going to be traded by the deadline? If so, do you know where he's going? I do not know where he's going. I do not know if he's going to get traded. But yeah, of the guys on the Raptors that probably get traded, Pascal, Gary, and Thad are on that list. Boucher might also be on that list, which might be unfortunate for people who enjoyed watching him hustle all over the court last night. But again, different timelines. He's a 31-year-old player. I think, if you're a title contender or something, adding a first-round pick or something to get an upgrade on Chris Boucher is a very worthwhile asset, especially if you're one that's depleted of depth, because he can be a guy who can win 50 minutes in a playoff series very easily. He's done it before. He's had like a 24 PER in an entire playoff series. It's impressive. Chris Boucher in 10 minutes a game is like very valuable. Kick-Ass Production saying, according to multiple sources, the Warriors are loath to trade Kuminga, who is seen as a potential star who can help them win now and in the future. Loath is probably not the right word. Nike saying, and don't vote for Kuzma and other front courts. I think it goes without saying, as a Raptors pod, that you do not vote for Kyle Kuzma. Rob, Malachi played his first game with the Knicks today, played 48 seconds, took a shot, missed a shot. That's funny. I'm not rooting for anybody to fail, but I'm not expecting Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn to necessarily succeed there. I appreciate you guys saying vote Scottie. Believe it or not, I sent out an email blast to friends and family on January 5th. And from what I understand, I got 663 or 963 votes for him. I can't remember which one, but I remember the 63 part. I think it was 663. We got 663 votes for Scottie Barnes that day. Think about it. He's not like losing by that much. If every single person in Canada did what I did, he would be the leading vote getter of all time. So I'm not suggesting that you make that many accounts and start reaching out to grandparents and, dead relatives to vote for Scottie Barnes, the epitome of voter fraud. But I am suggesting that incognito mode exists, my guy. Loathe is the right word, grammatically speaking, anyway. I don't think it is, Karen. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, then I will absolutely lean on the fact that English is my second language. But I don't think it is. Loathe, if you define it, I loathe this person. Like, how can that possibly be correct? Anyways, it's not a grammatical thing. Maybe I'm wrong. So my point is, with Jarace Walker, you have a guy who's very much on Scottie's timeline, and the added benefit of Jarace is you have him for 7 years. If you develop him, you don't have a threat to lose him. If you don't develop him, it's not that big a contract. It's like $6-7 million, right? It's good if you're planning to build around Scottie the right way, because now you're clearing out, like, really, if the deal that you get for Jarace Walker is basically Jarace Walker plus expirings plus picks, then really you're replacing, you think about it from your next year's cap sheet perspective, you're replacing what could be likely a $50 million player in Pascal Siakam, or close to $50 million player, with an $8 million player. Now, is he better than Pascal Siakam? No. Will he be better than Pascal Siakam in the next 3 years? No. I would bet dollars to donuts on that. But he's also not, like, he's not making, 15% of what, he's barely making 15% of what Pascal's making. It also opens up avenues to be a little bit more creative with building around Scottie, because you get this guy who I think could be NBA ready right now, maybe as early as next season, on a hell of a deal, right? And you get him for 3 more years on his rookie contract. And then if you have to extend him, well, congratulations. Now you're in like 2027, 2028. And you already know if this guy's A, worked out for you, and B, if he's a player, then you can max him out and go into luxury tax at that point, with him and Scottie and Emmanuel Quickly and whatever else you put around this core, right? Like, the cap flexibility that's being offered here, you got to understand where we were 2 weeks ago and where we could be 2 weeks from now is a completely different situation. Where we were 2 weeks ago is as follows. You had O.G Anunoby, Pascal Siakam as unrestricted free agents, naturally Gary Trent, all the other, all the other contracts, Otto, Thad, etc., not factoring those. I'm talking guys that are of substantial value to you. Not to suggest Gary's not substantial value. Rob, would you trade Pascal Siakam for RJ McLeod? To those of you who are not in on this joke, RJ McLeod is my 2K player that I made 5 years ago, who ended up becoming the greatest player of all time. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade 12 Pascal Siakams for that dude. He averaged like a 30-point triple-double in like 26 minutes a game, man. That guy was great. Greatest player. Anyways, I digress. I would absolutely say that with Emmanuel Quickly having a $12 million cap hold this summer, and Jarace Walker making $8 million, and you being able to let guys like Buddy Hield just expire, or maybe even, jettisoning Buddy Hield off to another team, again, for a limited contract or an expiring plus stuff, you basically start doing a little bit of what OKC is doing by acquiring young players and pick equity. Now, when you get under the line enough, the really only big contract on your books until Scottie's extension kicks in is RJ Barrett at $25 million next year. That's not that big a contract. With the cap going up, but he's apparently on the block. He is on the block because they need to shore up their defense somehow. So what I'm saying is you have a very interesting avenue to potentially trade for a star, because now you have the pieces and the space and the picks to trade for a star. Not only that, you also have Emmanuel Quickly, Jarace Walker, Scottie Barnes, RJ Barrett, potentially, or, Gary Trent or whatever else you have on this roster, Christian Koloko, Grady Dick. I mean, these are all players who are on very minimal deals for the type of players you expect them to be next year. Grady Dick has not worked out for the Raptors so far. Please understand. This guy, I have no doubt in my mind, he's going to be a rotation player for them at some point this season, and probably like a decent rotation player by next season, maybe even a starter. So you got to see all the building blocks. Remember what I said earlier about the media kind of planting the dominoes to knock over when they released the big story about Masai Ujiri being a huckster and a crook? Okay, well, it's the same thing on the other side of try to see the pieces that they're putting together for this, future vision Scottie Barnes team, right? You got Emmanuel Quickly, so you got your downhill guard. You get Grady Dick, he's your movement shooter, right? You get RJ Barrett, who's like a secondary wing creator who gets to the line, and if you can develop him, great. Every player I just mentioned is under 25, actually significantly under 25. Scottie's 22, Emmanuel Quickly's 24, RJ Barrett's 23. Now you get Jarace Walker in the door. Let's say you get him. Now you get your paint protecting stretch big. That's it. That's the archetype. That's what you were missing, and that's what you got. And guess what? He's 20 years old. So now you got that. Okay. Now what else do you need? Right? What else do you need around this? A superstar. Get a superstar. And now you're set. You're a championship team. You get a superstar around all the things that I mentioned. Not to mention you have paint protection and a rim rolling potential stretch big in Christian Koloko. Again, I'm banking on good outcomes for all these players now because they have a development coach in place, right? Is Jarace even a good rim protector? Rim protecting is more than shot blocking, but I'll be happy to pull up his college stats. Give me one sec. I'm actually very curious about this myself to look at his college stats. I haven't looked at them since the draft. So let me just pull this up and we will see what it looked like. Give me one sec. Let me share my screen. Three blocks per 100 possessions is not insane shot blocking, right? But a 6.3 block percentage. Are you curious to see what this looks like compared to a player? Okay. I'm curious. Raptor fans, who do you want me to compare him to as a college player that you think is a good rim protector? And don't mention elite rim protectors like Miles Turner or something like that. Don't go there. Onyeka would be insanity, honestly, but that might be. Am I misspelling Onyeka Okongwu's name? Huh? He played for the Trojans. Why are his stats not available? They are available. Hang on. Okay. He had a 9.8% block percentage. I understand that he was a better shot blocker. I get that. Per 100 possessions, he gave you 5 blocks, but he is like really, really good. Jaden McDaniels, I think he would compare favorably to, and if not, he would be a better rim protector than him, I think. Okay, there's literally nobody is available here. I don't get this, but okay. This database is screwed. Give me one sec. I mean, it's similar, right? They're 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, he does compare very favorably to Jaden McDaniels. I mean, I think the the right thing to do probably would have been to just compare him to O.G Anunoby and see how he stacked up. But here's Jaden McDaniels. In terms of per 100 possessions, he blocks the ball more than him, yes, and he had higher block percentage than him. Right? So I think that's fair. You want to compare him to Vando? Like, I'm not suggesting he's like going to come in and be like Draymond Green level shot blocker, right? But well, Draymond Green's not that much of a shot blocker either. What is going on here? Am I on like what? I don't get it. Why is nobody available? Who's Drea Howard? Are these women? Why am I on the women's? I don't get it. Okay, let me try to reset this. Basketball. Here we go. What? No, this is Basketball Reference. Okay, I'm lost. Point is, he is a pretty good defender. Asar, his analytics would not be available because he played for Overtime Elite, so I wouldn't have those available. And the competition does not make it scalable, which is actually one of the hardest things about, comparing anyone to. Yeah, see, Duran is a center, Mark Williams is a center, Day'Ron Sharpe is a center. You're not talking about a center because Jarace Walker was a switchable guy. He sometimes guarded perimeter. I think he was pretty switchable in college too. Okay. This is dumb. Okay. Honestly, he's not quite like the freak athlete that Shawn Marion is, but in terms of what you need from your big, from what you need from your 4 or 5 spot, also not going to work at all. Why Jaylen Brown? What? Who? What? When? Where? I can compare him to O.G Anunoby at Indiana. So O.G Anunoby at Indiana played 2 years, and let's see, he did block the shit. He was quite a shot blocker at Indiana, man. So O.G Anunoby averaged 3 blocks per 100 possessions at Indiana. So he was a slightly worse shot blocker than Jarace Walker in Indiana. Again, these two guys are pretty close. Like in terms of, if you want to talk comparables, OG was an 8 boxes minus guy with 4.2 defensive boxes minus. I can't believe that it's just not giving me the database. Hold on one second. I literally scroll back and forth between these two stats. And Jarace Walker was an 8.8 boxes minus guy. He had a better freshman season, in the 8. And again, like not exactly comparable conferences. Fair enough. Anyways, let's continue on with this video. Overall, I think that he presents exactly what you need from prototypical, stretch big for you. He's got he's not Isaiah Stewart. I heard someone compare him to Isaiah Stewart, and I'm like, man, you're really, really trying to compare players who look similar. He's not Isaiah Stewart. He's a fluid athlete. Look at him. That's a wing. That's a wing big, right? Like when you see him move, like, yeah, there's like brutish force to it. He's like big, but like there's also like a nimbleness and a fluidity to him. And I'm not suggesting that means that he's going to be able to guard 1s or 2s necessarily, but 3, 4, 5 is really in the cards. His handle is also like a little bit shiftier than I think people give it credit for. By the way, give this video a like if you like this thumbnail. I was trying to go in a different direction. Most of our thumbnails have these like big blotchy letters. I'm trying to go away from that to see, just experiment if it's a good thing. I don't know. Okay, now let's talk about the second player in this deal, or second player of this video, an hour and 9 minutes into it. Man, I really like the sound of my own voice. I talk too much. Okay, let's go to, something that Jonathan Kuminga said. I'm going to keep it real with you. Me with the ball, he continued, nobody's guarding me. But sometimes, Kuminga said, I've got to take that away to make sure my OGs get the ball. That's where it's confusing. Sometimes I come out the game not knowing what I did, and that messes with my head. It's like what they want me to do. I can pass and I can do different shit. Yeah, I'm a difference maker, Kuminga said. I know I am, but it's not up to me to do certain things. How can I say it? It's not up to me to control my minutes. I feel like I've done that, but the last voice ain't mine. And it's not easy because I know how to score the basketball. I know how to pass. I know how to do different things on the floor, but it's about putting it all together with the people we have on the floor. It's just tough to put it all together. I'm trying to figure out how to manage that. We are good, man, Kuminga said. We can beat anybody in this league and make everybody feel that ain't nothing changed. We still that good. It's getting better. We just have to figure it out. Mark Anderson went to dumbestbasketballtakes.com and basically borrowed every single thing that he's saying from there. Crazy, man. Look, I don't know what's crazier. What Mark Anderson is saying about Kuminga or what Kuminga is saying about himself. Okay, Hoodie Mel is saying Kuminga is a solid on-ball defender. Something worth noting. Yes, he is, and no, he's not. Okay? So this was the trade that I proposed last night. It was Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and 2 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam. If you want to go back and get, 40 minutes of my thoughts on that video, you can definitely go check the last video. We got into the trade. It's all time-stamped. You can just go in. In terms of his usage per, by play type, he's mainly a spot up guy right now. A little bit of post up, a little bit of cutting, but he's not like the player that he's defining himself as has a much more spread usage. Now, he's also probably making a point that, hey, in pickup, I can do all this stuff. And, in summer runs, I can do all this stuff. How come I can't do that for the Warriors? And that's my problem. Number one, you're not good enough to do that for the Warriors. Number two, regardless of what you think, you're not better than Steph Curry. And so your goal right now is to buy in. Now, let me show you the crafted analytics on this guy. He is 49th percentile true shooting, which is abysmal for a guy who, frankly, doesn't take a hell of a lot of threes and is a freak athlete. He should be in the 77th percentile at this point. He's in his 3rd year as a player right now. 49th percentile for an athlete this big shows me that you take a lot of dumb shots. And 30th percentile shot quality also shows me you take a lot of dumb shots. Free throw rate shows me that you're aggressive. And if you look at RJ Barrett's analytics profile, offensively, he's better. Defensively, he's mildly worse. But that's 2 RJ Barretts on the same team, with one having slightly different holes than the other. So maybe you can develop them in tandem. And if they both pop for you, holy shit, do you have crazy transition offense. But if they don't, you have 2 defensive liabilities and 2 offensively incomplete players who think entirely too much of themselves. And I think that that's the upside downside element of, I think the upside on Jonathan Kuminga is higher than the upside on Jarace Walker. I think the downside on him is much lower. I think the floor on Jonathan Kuminga is significantly lower than the floor on Jarace Walker. And I'll make my point. I'll kind of communicate why I feel that way. To me, a player like this thinks of himself far too much like a star or a guy who deserves to have the basketball in his hands. Put out of the, hyper-structured, well, not very hyper-structured, but at least the clear pecking order of the Golden State Warriors, where it's clearly Steph, Clay, Draymond, and then everybody else. I worry about a player like that coming into a system like ours with a coach who's so encouraging and maybe getting a little bit trigger happy. I don't think that he's anywhere near as good as he thinks he is. Not offensively, not defensively. I've watched him play a lot. I watch a ton of G League Ignite games, not because of him, because of Dacian Nix. I like Dacian Nix, not as an NBA prospect, just as a person. I like Dacian Nix, and I just wanted to watch him. And I think I watched way too much Jonathan Kuminga in G League to tell you, like, this is not a player who reads the game well. Yes, he does amazing things like the things you're seeing on your screen right now. He's athletic. He can, he can cut into space. He can dunk the basketball. He can do crazy shit with the basketball that makes you think, if you just watch the highlights, like, look at that block right there. Like, that's incredible. And that was on a really quick, twitchy guard like Jordan Clarkson. And look at him here, just like slamming it on Jason Tatum. Like, he's a aggressive athlete, like very aggressive, explosive, twitchy, second jumper. Like, everything with Jonathan Kuminga to me screams, this guy was supposed to be like a number 2 or number 3 pick. Why'd he fall? He went into the draft cycle as like probably top 4 pick, top 5 pick. He was ahead of Scottie on most mock drafts before the pre-draft cycle. Everyone said the Raptors are going to draft Jonathan Kuminga because he's African and blah, blah, blah. And I said, nope, not going to happen. And it's partially because of, he doesn't see the game. He doesn't process the game at a high level at all. And the problem is, you play next to Steph Curry, you not processing the game, you being highly mistake prone as a player, you having low IQ, like, even that right there, like Andrew Wiggins is cutting into one place, he just cuts right through him. Like, if you get frustrated watching Chris Boucher sometimes, if you get frustrated watching Benedict Mathurin sometimes, you will definitely get frustrated watching Jonathan Kuminga. And that was hilarious. Jonathan Kuminga taking a 3 over Precious Achiuwa. It's like the universe collapsed in on itself. Now, is there anything wrong with his jump shot? No, it's a beautiful jump shot. Anything wrong with his athleticism? No, he's a beautiful athlete. Anything wrong with his defense? No. Look at moves like that. He glides, man. He glides. Like, look at him, like, just attacking over, like, it's like over 2 defenders, grown men shit, man. Like, here, like, he makes a beautiful read here, and just, wow, just, you watch this. Justin C saying, what kind of Pokemon would be? I'll leave that to you guys. I didn't do anything with Pokemon. I don't know anything about Pokemon. The only thing I knew about Pokemon was Pikachu. All right. Like, look at this block. Like, this is Scottie Barnes shit. And unlike Scottie, he is like even more fluid as an athlete. Right? Like, he is just something athletically. And you think about, running a transition offense, the Raptors run more than any team in the league. Their transition offense is pretty prolific. The problem is they play guys like Jakob Poeltl. So, or, they play guys like Gary Trent Jr. and Chris Boucher, who don't make very good decisions in transition. So it's one thing to say, okay, let's take the athlete and develop him into the player. It's another thing to say, let me take the player and refine his skill set to turn him into a better athlete. Skills and athleticism both do the same thing in very different ways. They compensate or maximize space. If you become a smarter defender and you train your hips and you train your lateral quickness and you work on your, technique, some free advice for people. If you ever play pickup, people don't understand how to guard the post, right? Like, I wish I was like a big beefy dude. I would go into every pickup game and just score 100 points because people don't know how to guard in the post. So if you can get a coach to actually teach you the technique of guarding into the post, it's going to help you. Or you can be blessed with Jonathan Kuminga athleticism and you can get away with it on talent. You don't ever have to really learn the technique of how to guard in the post. You don't have to learn the technique and the scouting report. You just get by on athleticism. And that's the problem. You see guys like Jonathan Kuminga have gotten by on talent and athleticism their whole lives. They've been starters, they've been stars, and they don't know how to adjust. Now, this might sound like a very scathing indictment of Jonathan Kuminga. I'm just not as impressed with him as some people are. I'm not throwing Steve Kerr, to the woodshed. I think he's a bit of a, let's call him he's a good coach. He's not a bad coach. But this notion that, Warriors fans have had for years with Jonathan Kuminga is that he needs more minutes. He's being screwed over. Kerr doesn't like him. Kerr doesn't play him enough. Kerr's yanking him around. It's not bias, man. The Warriors have been great at drafting. They've messed up a lot of draft picks. Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody come to mind as draft picks that were not great draft picks. I mean, Moses Moody is all right. Wasn't the best player on the court. It wasn't the best player on the board at the time. Not by a long shot. They passed on Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Alperen Şengün to bring Moses Moody in. They passed on LaMelo Ball to bring in James Wiseman. They passed on Tyrese Maxey. They passed on Emmanuel Quick. They passed on a ton of guys. They have not been good at drafting. And for Jonathan Kuminga and all the brilliance of, his athleticism and his highlight tapes, they passed on Franz Wagner to get this guy. They play the same position and picked one pick apart. You think there's a Magic fan in the world that would trade Franz right now for Jonathan Kuminga and 2 picks? Nope. Guess who got picked first? That's the point. Franz Wagner on draft night seen as a little bit of a reach at 8. Probably should have gone 13th, they said. Jonathan Kuminga, oh, I can't believe he fell so far. Look at his athleticism. Well, it's 3 years later. I'm still looking at his athleticism and I'm waiting for this guy to put it together. What I'm seeing right now is a guy who in a quarter can look like the best player on the court. And that's the problem. We're a highlight culture, but this is not a highlight front office. You see, we are not a highlight front office. That's why we went for Scottie Barnes over Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs was box office. Jalen Suggs was the guard who hit that big game winner in the Final Four. Oh my God, March Madness. That's the highlight. That's the excitement. It's not a highlight front office. They don't think like that. And I'm happy. I'm very happy about that because they think analytically. They think long-term. They think about the dominoes that they're setting up to finally win their next championship. I think the Jarace Walker fits so much better. I think Onyeka Okongwu fits as well, but I think Jarace offers you just a burst. Okay, a little less defense, a little less age, but it's a completely different situation because Onyeka is already there. Now, first of all, Onyeka already has an existing relationship with Scottie Barnes. I'm sure Jarace and Scottie would become very fast friends super quickly. Like, I've listened to so many interviews with this guy over the last year. Yo, when I tell you he fits. He fits like a glove with this team. So does Grady Dick. Personality-wise, you got to start bringing guys in who work in a locker room. You know what I mean? You got to get guys in who balance each other out. But more importantly, forget the good vibes and forget the culture and forget all that. You got to get guys who can play together, who fit together on a basketball court. Like, you're assembling puzzle pieces. You can't have all the same piece. That's what the Raptors did, 6'9", 6'9", 6'9". Okay, Jarace Walker and Scottie Barnes have a lot in common physically. They're both 6'7", 6'8" guys with 7'2", 7'3" wingspans. They're both switchable, but they're completely different types of players. You need that. You need that. Those are chess pieces. You know how hard it would be to win a game of chess with 14 knights? Man, if you play chess, you appreciate that analogy completely. The Raptors have 14 knights, or 6 knights, or 4 knights, or whatever. They have 4 knights on the basketball court, or they have like 16, white square bishops. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, man. You need some pawns. You need some pawns. You need diversity. These pieces need to work together. You need a couple of rooks, likely on an open file. Oh, we're just going with the chess analogies here. Yes, sir. Would you guys ever be down for a live chess Pensari basketball chess tournament where live callers just play me one-on-one in chess? That would be fun as hell. I've been thinking about this for a while. I was thinking about doing it like somewhere into a late night live, but I think it'd be super fun. Jonathan Convoy saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, that would be fun because I talk more shit. I used to talk a lot of shit when I played basketball. I got punched in the face a couple of times because of it. But I will tell you this. I actually got threatened. Like, I'm not going to go into that story, but I got out of pocket sometimes. But chess is my outlet now that I'm 36 years old, and that's how I get my competitive juice. So, yeah. Zachary Voy saying, absolutely, I would play you. For real? Okay. We could do it right now, bro. Are you good? I mean, I'm not trying to get embarrassed here. I'm not that good. I'm pretty okay. I'm like a 96th percentile chess player. If you're like a grandmaster, you're going to whoop me. I don't. Hoodie Mel is saying, you put on a Scottie jersey, I'll put on a Suggs jersey, and I'll prove Suggs is better than Scottie. What's my ELO? So my highest ever ELO was 1520. That's my highest ever. I'm not going to tell you what it's at right now. It's lower. I lost like 25 games straight. But yeah. But yes, I've been a 1522 before. That's the best I've ever hit. My goal for this year, actually, I didn't put it on my resolutions. I would love to hit 2000. That would be awesome. Honestly, I think a live chess tournament right now would be great. Let's see if we can set this up, and I will happily play somebody who has a chess. Let me see. Let's sign up with Facebook. Let me see. Like, do I have like multiple chess accounts? I know I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Hang on. This would be fun to close this out. Do I have anything more to say, or can we just get to the chess at this point? I think it would be like a very interesting way to do this. Okay. Yes. What? Does anyone get frustrated that you have to spend so much time confirming you're not a robot to every single thing? Like, it's crazy. Okay. Scott plays 2K. I'll play. Is there a pizza party involved here? You know what? Sure. Let's do it. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. If you beat me, I'll order you pizza. Is that fair? I think that's fair. I have to sign up for a new account because I can't seem to log into my old one. But I mean, let's just I'll just put Pinsire Basketball. Hang on one sec. You, unfortunately, if you're gonna play me, you have to create a chess.com account. Hold on one sec. Cool. Okay. So play a friend. Invite a friend to play chess. How do I create a challenge link? Oh, okay, I can do that. Cool. Okay, so Scott plays 2K. Here's your link. I don't know if this is going to show up. Am I able to share links? There's your chess link. Let's see if you accept this. Oh, cool. He accepted. His name is your boy Scott. That's cool. Okay, hang on. Let me present the screen. I'm going to lose time on this, aren't I? Present screen. There we go. Okay, this is the end of the basketball portion of this. We are officially going into the chess component of this for some reason, and I'm just going to do crazy shit, apparently. Okay, let's do this. I should have asked him if he was good. Like, I don't know if he's good. Did he say he's first percentile? Okay. Dude, I'm rusty. This is like the first time I'm playing chess this year. Okay. I have always kind of low key wanted a I've always wanted like a chess channel. I don't know why I wanted a chess channel, but I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't think I'm playing well. I'm pretty sure if I did an analytics report on this, it would probably show me that I'm playing like a child, like not even like a good child, like a terrible child who does not know how to play chess. In fact, it could be worse though. There's a thing in chess called being tilted. I'm very tilted right now. Which is effectively to say that I have like no real concept of what I'm doing. Like I don't have a clear vision of what I'm doing. Like I don't have a plan. I'm just making moves. Probably because I really want to give Scott 2K, Scott plays 2K a pizza party. Look, man, the Raptors can't get a pizza party. I want somebody to get a pizza party. So what can I say? Oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm not reading the comments, but I'm pretty sure the comments are like, this is the worst chess game in the history of chess games. And you would not be wrong on that. This is bad. This is insanity. What? Okay. This is insanity. This is the definition of insanity. No one should ever play chess like this. I should be banned from chess.com. They shouldn't allow me to have a chess.com account. Like I just missed a wide open. I'm not going to say what I missed, but like what the hell did I just do here? Like everything is open right now. Like I can't even tell you how far away you are from a pizza party right now unless I'm just missing mate. But this is probably going to get trolled as quite easily the worst chess game of all time. Could it get there? Could we make history here as the worst? Am I the worst chess player of all time right now? This is bad. Like this is oh boy, this is so bad. Like right now, I could lose exactly. Like I just lost it for no reason whatsoever. It's almost like God, I hope no one who knows how to play chess is actually watching this. So bad. Oh, the insanity of it all. Okay. Like I wouldn't be surprised if right now I just blunder a queen for no apparent reason whatsoever. Like probably like what? This is so bad. Like there's like I can't believe maybe this is why I haven't played chess in a while because I'm just like, what the hell? Let me look at the comments. Mr. Shadow saying mate in 3. I think it was mate. No shot you were ever even close to 2K. I promise you, if I pull up my other account, you would see that I was. I actually have what is it? Your goat. can definitely confirm that I have played many 2000 level games. I have just no idea what I'm doing right now, because honestly, it's really hard to play a game when your opponent is just not like is not doing anything that you expect them to do. Believe me, I'm acknowledging this is the worst chess game of all time. I fully see that. Like, I have no clue how it got here. Like, what the hell did I just do that for? That was dumb. Exactly. Like I'm completely tilted. Sorry guys. I don't know what I'm doing. This is bad. Like, everything is open, nothing is protected. Like, it's wild, man. Okay. Get your composure, Rob. Like, what are you doing here? There we go. Okay. That was embarrassing and ridiculous, and I'm sorry to anyone who had to suffer through that. Thanks, Scott Plays 2K, but just like the Raptors, no pizza for you either, my friend. All right, that was an absolute. What the fuck did I see? Oh my god! No, I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen. When you play chess online a lot, certain things can disrupt your pattern. So I'm playing chess against an entire screen of basketball stuff, and for whatever reason, this has happened to me before, where if I play a lot on my phone and I suddenly go to my computer, I feel like I'm just going to make a whole bunch of excuses, but let me get through it. If I go on my phone and I play suddenly a board game, like an over the board game, I'll probably struggle like a couple of times just to adjust. Something about my eyes just doesn't adjust well. So right now, for whatever reason, it's not even gets out of the flow state, yo. Like it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's yeah, believe me, it's happened to me before. Like I've played I don't know, if I look at my chess.com thing, I think I have 1,000. I get very happy when I play really good games, so I always go to the game analytics and I'll like look how well a game I played. I think 25. There was like a 35 to 40 games in December that I played where the rating on that game was 1950 to 2150. But there's always like this one or two games where the opponent just starts in a way that you're not expecting. That opening was like, what? I don't know how to respond to this. So when someone goes off the book and doesn't play a book move, like, this is also it. Like, the pressure that you feel, like, are these people, what are they saying? Is somebody, you know what I mean? Like that was a very weird experience for me. Probably. Yeah, exactly. But it's happened to me before. Like, I remember I used to play a lot of board games, like over the board games at a chess club at the Annex Club. And then I downloaded it on my phone, and for whatever reason, like I just couldn't, like, do you know what I mean? Like, yes, the pieces are the same, but for whatever reason, it just throws you off, and it takes like a week to learn. I was like, okay, yeah, that's how the board looks from this vantage point. So for whatever reason, playing like this, okay, yes. Huh? Okay. Um. Okay, yeah, I'll play somebody else. Whatever, man. I don't care. But given the way I just played, no pizza on the line here. No, not happening. Okay, so I'll send a create a challenge link. Hold on, I'll play one more person. I'm not chicken shit completely, but I know that if based on how I just played, Pensar basketball is now a 400 rated. Oh my god, I just played the worst game I've played in my life. Okay, hang on. Here, let me create a challenge link. I'll play whoever, whatever. It's fine. Go. Min Young Chun. Oh, it seems like you're gonna absolutely destroy me. Somebody is who is this? Zesty Zach. Okay, cool. Let's play. Hold on one sec. Let me. I gotta present the screen. One sec. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go full screen. I'm not going to see myself anymore. I just got to look at the chessboard and go, okay. That's much better. So I'm still talking, but now I can just see the chessboard and I don't see the screen. And I think this is going to help a lot. This is going to be a comeback. I can feel it. I will redeem myself. Can't have a whole bunch of people thinking I'm like a fraud chess player, bro. Like I wouldn't say this is a book game. It's already off to a very chaotic start, but it's not bad. Oh, what the fuck? What? Okay. How can I exploit this? Dun, 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 dun. Or maybe I don't have to. Yeah, I have like a lot of chess streamers that I watch. Like they do this stuff on not TikTok, on whatchamacallit. My brain's not working. On the thing that Scottie does, Twitch. They stream on Twitch. And it's interesting. Like I'll just clarify for anyone watching, this is definitely not a good game right now. So yeah, like this is bad. This is also bad. But it's not as bad as last time. This is also a player who's going completely off the book. And I don't like it's also like, you know, when you play chess.com, you play opponents that are constantly like ranked around where you're ranked roughly. So if you're a 1250, 1300 player, you're playing like a 1350 at best. You're playing like a 1190 at worst. Like I haven't played a 400 player since Your Goat. I don't even think I think Your Goat is like worse than a 400 player, to be honest. But sometimes he has these moments of brilliance where he's like an 800 player. So I'm not entirely sure how to exploit or even play against players who are like making. I don't think I have a lot of practice playing players who are just way worse. Which means that when you play somebody who has like obvious blunders or is making like crazy moves, and they're just like, you just don't see it. Like, this is obvious. I see this. And I mean, if he doesn't see this, like, it's he's cooked. Yeah. I mean, he resigned because next move's checkmate. Just for anyone who would be watching, that was my next move. Okay, next up, does anyone else want to play? Play Min Young Chun or we riot. Okay, I made an open link, so Min Young Chun can come on in. Okay, hold on. How do I play a friend? Like, yeah, I'm not like, I also don't have a lot of experience playing like 2000 ranked players. So I mean, if Min Young Chen is really, really good, I'm gonna get fucked. But okay. Darian Matisse, I haven't played in forever. I'm scared to click the link. That's funny. Okay. Okay, Min Young Chung, this one's for you. Okay, let's go. Wouldn't it be funny if all of this was just, no, there's no pizza. There's no pizza. Min Young Chung, I'm not good. Oh, okay. Well, I think people were expecting you to be really good. Okay, so I guess, wait. Oh, shit. You're here. My bad. My bad. Why can I not see your elo? Okay. I will tell you within 4 moves if you're actually good or if you're just trolling me. Not if you're actually good, if you're actually not good. You're already better than every single player I've played so far. I can tell you that right now. Can I tell you that right now? I don't know. I wish there was another person on who could talk to me about what's actually happening in the chat. I have no idea what's happening in the chat right now. People are like, oh my God, Rob, you don't see it. Mate in 3. Yeah, I mean, you are better for sure. I mean, okay, sure. I gotta tell you, like, just not looking at the StreamYard screen has helped me tremendously right now. I can't explain it. No, I can't explain it. I have a rule with my girlfriend. You don't get to come in and talk to me when I'm playing chess. I'm not someone who can focus on like 14 different things at once. I've noticed this about myself a couple of times. Okay. So it's 2. I'm just saying out there it's 2. And I don't know if Min Young was the person who said there's no way you're, good move. There's no way that you're that you were ever. I don't know if you were the person who said that, but cool if you were. Okay, let's see here. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? I mean, okay. I could go. Okay. I'm not trying to offer anyone any chess tutorials, but you should probably try to get the exactly. You should probably try to kick the queen sooner than this. Now, I go here, then I lose my knight for friggin' nothing. Yeah. This attack is dead in the water right now. That's funny. As I say, you should have kicked this queen. Yeah, you should. Okay. I guess I must retreat my attack. No, I will absolutely tell you you're easily the best of the players who've played so far. Like, no offense to anybody, but yeah, you are. Fuck. Usually not a great idea to bring your queen out this early, which is exactly why you usually shouldn't, but in quick attack games, you can. And probably a good idea to try to get your rook on half open or an open file if you can and get them connected. So I did one part of it, which is I got my rooks connected, which is good. But I'm not doing a lot right in this game at all. Like I had a very basic, simple, crazy, stupid attack, and it did not necessarily go anywhere. And now, and now I am suffering the consequences for my lack of planning, I guess. But yes, so this, I don't know if you guys can see the pointer here. I think you can. So this entire line is open, and I should take it for sure. Interesting, I guess. Okay. Not that I'm really in any dangerous territory here. This is getting a little uncomfortable for me. No, it's not. I'm good. I'm fine. Oh my God. Like this is just blech, bad, I guess, all around. Okay. Also worth noting, when you start removing your rooks off their opening file, you can run into some problems naturally, like this one. Did I just lose my queen? Min Young saying, "Oh no, I blundered." Dude, I blundered. I'm stuck. I'm so stuck right now. Aren't I? Hold on, what am I missing here? I'm running a little bit low on time. Oh, there you go. I mean, this is, hold on. Let me see how this would play out. So I go here, that's a fork, right? He has to move that. He has to move his queen. Hold on. He has to move his king in this case. I take. Perfect. Boom. As I said, it was getting a little bit crampy, right? And also, like this little file here, when you don't move your first 3 pawns, to anyone who's new to chess, when you don't move your first 3 pawns, you can suffer in the sense that, okay, now this is worth thinking about here. What's actually the right move? Well, I guess that's the right move. But actually, it's the wrong move. It is the wrong move. I just messed up. I just messed up. In trying to give people tutorials about chess and just completely fucked myself over, I did. And I can't, so just an FYI, if I do this, it's game over because he would take my rook right there. And right now, I am in the exact same position, almost the exact same position that I was in earlier. Hold on. Almost in the exact same position I was in earlier. With one notable difference. Like I think I've lost my advantage a little bit. I need to move my pawn really soon. I'm feeling like the pressure of running low on time. This is stupid. Yeah, I really messed that up. I'm trying to comment on the game as well while I'm going through it. Maybe that's interesting. I mean, probably not right, but interesting. Hang on, let me see. This is probably the way to go. Check. I mean, what am I not seeing here? I take, he takes, I take. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Would he take? He wouldn't take. That would be, or he or she, I'm sorry. If that would be madness if they took here. Oh boy, this is uncomfortable. This feels like it could be a loss. It does. I'm not saying it will be, but I'm saying it could be. This is dangerous territory. Not want to be here. This is like how the Raptors feel when they're losing a game. Someone said you're winning, man. I mean, yeah, but like barely. How to explain it? I mean, okay. I wish there was a way to force an exchange right now, but also, I think it might be wise to. Well, if I do this, that might be dumb. I don't think that having more pieces necessarily means you're winning. I think position matters much more on a chessboard than, the number of pieces you have. That's actually a pretty great move. What the hell is going on here? I think this was my first, let's call it high IQ move. I think this was a decent move. He's pinned. He can't move his queen. Oh, there we go. As I was saying, he can't move his queen, but he can do other stuff. Okay. I really am about to get back rank checked, aren't I? I will. I know I will. I'm just like, I'm fearing it with every fiber of my being right now. Like, this rook is so vulnerable. I'm just like, I'm feeling this intense sense of paranoia that at some point I'm going to lose that rook and lose the game. And I don't understand like why I even did this to myself. Okay. Like, this is madness. Okay. Like, what the hell is happening here in this game? I don't know. I believe the Spanish say no sé. No sé. Don't know. And a 2-for-1. And also, I think, okay. Seriously, man, what the hell am I doing? Okay. I'm going to lose that in order to avoid this. Oh, God. What is happening here? Well, I wanted to force it. Boom. Forced it. Have to take it now. Unless I just blundered that. No, I didn't. Perfect. Okay, now we are in smooth sailing because I have a rook. Now I say I'm winning. This is the first time where I can officially say, yes, I almost have certainly completely won this game. Like, unless I get forked somewhere, lose my rook. Hold on. Not happening, man. Okay, now it's going to be really fast. Shoot. Oh my God, I'm so low on time. I'm going to okay, I'm shutting up right now. I refuse to lose this game because of that big mistake right there. Huge mistake. He just pinned his knight to his king. Boom. Okay. Need to move so fast right now. This is like that 21-point comeback. Oh, that was a mistake. What? The hell was that, man? Shit. What? I'm really going to lose on time, aren't I? Okay, so almost completely I cannot lose, but really I'm struggling with the speed of this. No! Son of a bitch. No. Okay. First of all, definitely idiotic move on my part. That was a draw. Unbelievable. What the hell was that? I should have won that. Like hardcore should have won that. And any amount of like I didn't know it was that low on time, man. That's embarrassing. Yes, I did. Like he was dead in the water. He was dead in the water like 35 moves ago. I had to draw. I'm sorry. I messed up earlier in the game. Rob, let me tutor you in chess, man. My chess skills are better than Mark Anderson's b-ball takes right now. Bueno Kitty. Wow, I need to learn chess. It's like a moving puzzle. Yeah, it is. Yes. I'm curious, what is your elo? I suspect you're probably like 900 to 1100 player. Is that roughly where you are? I mean, 700 to 9. I'm not trying to be rude. 900. Like I'm playing terrible. If I did an evaluation on this game, I'm probably like this was probably like a 500-600 game. How is chess connected to life? In many ways. Okay, I'll do one more. We have 246 people watching me play chess at 12:27. That's wild. That's awesome. What's the site? It's chess.com, dude. It's right at the top, chess.com. I'll make one more link. I need 5 minutes, not 5 minutes. I need like a minute to just breathe, refresh my coffee. Yeah, like this is. I just want anyone to know this is not how I play chess. I don't know what the fuck happened to me today. Scott, I would say 900 in blitz. Yeah, that's roughly where I thought this would be. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to play whatever. If you're a 1500 player, whatever. I'm not a 1500 player right now. Clearly, right now I'm not playing 1500. This was like roughly an 800, 700 game, I think. And if you're a 900 player, you actually didn't play to your potential either, because that blunder was pretty bad. But yeah, like my end game was terrible. Simp Exterminator wanna play. Wait, who was the person who said I want to tutor you in chess? Oh, Simp Exterminator. Okay, yeah, you gotta. Can you get 2K and rebuild the Raptors? Yeah, that I should, and definitely that would be fun. Does anyone know how to do that? First of all, like, how do I share my screen when I'm doing that? Unless I'm playing on my PC. I don't PC game. For someone, I'm a PC gamer. I have a Mac. Yeah. Okay. Twitch. So can you hook it up? So Jonathan, Twitch, can you hook it up to your television? So if I have my 2K hooked up with my PS4, PS5, whatever, I could hook that up to Twitch somehow. I am bad with technology, clearly. You should do 2K streams. Oh shit! I did not know that. PlayStation 5? I do have a PlayStation 5 now. It's literally my. Bueno Kitty, thanks a lot for the super chat, man. That's really nice of you. I don't know how to order pizza for Min Young Chen, but if Min Young Chen, you come to Pendance, if you just drop by, I will happily get a slice of pizza with you, man. What's your user, Rob? I think it's Rob Mishovich on my normal profile, but right now is Pensare Basketball. So great. I have a Pensare Basketball chess account, which is great. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Pendance is for you. It's a festival for artists. You can send me an email at pensarifilms@gmail.com, and I will happily hook you up with some tickets and grab a slice of pizza with you and talk about screenwriting, because I've written, I don't know, 44, 45 scripts, some of which have been produced. So happy to help if you need help. Just offering that impromptu. Okay, I need 2 minutes, guys. I need 2 minutes. It's actually shocking to me. My girlfriend was telling me just today. She's like, "How do you do these streams for 4 hours? Does your mouth not get dry? Do you like? How do you just go 4 hours and just not like have, a meltdown mentally?" It is hard for sure. It's hard, and it's something to. I do want to share one thing. It's not a plug necessarily, but I actually started a podcast on Spotify called I'm Okay. I went back and I listened to it this morning, and I was like, yo, I was on to something. It's 9 episodes of like real practical advice, like life advice, and it's good life advice. Like it's like I think it would vibe. If you're a member of this community, I think it would definitely vibe with you. Anyways, give me 2 minutes. I'll be back and we'll play one more game of chess and then maybe talk final notes on basketball. And this is going to be the weirdest live stream ever, but maybe it's something we can implement into these like 4-hour live streams. Like maybe if some two people have like a seriously contentious point and they're just like, all right, these guys are not getting along, let's debate it via a game of chess. I think it's fun. I don't know. I've been thinking off the cuff about like ways to implement chess analogies and chess in general. And chess, first of all, it's really good for your brain. It's incredible for your brain. Like it's really good for piecing things out. Like Anton, I believe, asked earlier, like, how does it apply to life? In every way it applies to life. I think it just, you don't go to school for a long time, you lose a lot of your critical thinking skills. I think this puts a lot of your pattern recognition and critical thinking skills back on the line. Just, yeah. 10-minute games, if that works. Simp Exterminator sent you a challenge. Did you send me a challenge to the Rob Mishovich one? Because I don't have access to that on this computer, only on the other computer. And yeah, I don't really feel like going to that. I don't feel like switching to the other computer. So I'm not seeing a challenge link here. So I will post a link for you specifically. Xander's Eye saying chess is not my game, but I'm world class in tic-tac-toe. Cool. Okay. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Let me just get some water. Towel off. Okay, we are back. We are back with 234 people waiting to see who will be my next victim in terrible, terrible chess. Someone forwarded me this crazy stat 2 days ago before that OG video blew up, and that's actually why I made the OG video, because I was like, all right, Kobe mentality. They said that, what was it? They said, Rob, do you realize for this month, for the month of December, was it the month of December or last 30 days? I can't remember. They said you have more channel views than NBH have, Raptors Republic, and Locked On Raptors combined. And I was just like, what? That's crazy. So, I mean, shocking. Like, two of those are really big channels with huge followings that have been around way longer. And it kind of blew my mind, but also made me realize that you guys actually don't just stick around for the Raptors. You do stick around for other stuff because you stick around for each other. Was he banned? Why? What happened? Oh, that's literally like, I have it on my fridge. 20K subs is on my fridge. So that's dope. Yes. Probably lost like 5 subscribers for this. For what? Did he say? That's weird. I mean, shoot, that's crazy. Okay. Cool. Still a crazy stat. Okay, let's start a new game here. Play a friend, create an invite link, challenge link. Okay. Simp Exterminator, there's the link. Go for it. Apparently, some of his videos were threatening of or to the players or individuals. Yo, that's crazy. Okay, guest, is this you? Just right here, it's you. It is, right? Okay. I don't know if you're good. Part of me kind of hopes you are, but okay, I'm gonna make the screen small. Your move, White. Go ahead. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit better after drinking some water. I don't know. I might be dehydrated. Yep, we're going for every excuse in the book for how badly I've played so far. Dehydrated, tilted, looking at too many screens, on a new computer, haven't played in a while. Any more excuses? Mercury retrograde. Too much hating on Dennis. Got my brain all scrambled. I don't know. Like, why did I do this move? I've never done this move in my life. Why the hell did I just do that? Like, what is going on with me, bro? I don't even know. Like, it's just an oops. That's just a mistake. And I've lost tempo now. And in fairness to Simp Exterminator is actually playing pretty okay. So I'm probably going to lose this game. Great. Okay, this feels like more like a book game to me, which is good for me, at least. What that means is there's a series of openings in chess that are considered book openings, and typically there's a reason for that. largely you don't want to set up your pieces to expose holes in your that can be easily exploited. So you're playing offense, defense, sort of at the same time. I think chess is a great analogy for basketball. It's a great analogy for basketball. I mean, this is chess. Like it's a chess piece. Like every time a coach draws up a certain play, calls a timeout. How is that not chess? It's totally chess. It's all relatable. And also, there's a handful of NBA players that play chess, which is very cool too. It's my turn, and I did not realize that. Okay. Luca plays chess. Fun fact, Luca had his own chess.com. Like you could play Luca on chess.com, like his AI version. They created a Luca bot. It's called Luca bot. They also had if I'm not mistaken, they had a Nikola Jokic bot. So basically, if you're a player who plays chess and you've talked about it, they've reached out to those players and just said, would it be cool to have? I know a handful of other players who've definitely done it as well. Okay, I feel very comfortable in this game, despite A, being black, and B, losing tempo on that. I think I'm okay. Right now, I feel like there's nothing crazy about this game right now that's making me like, whoa, what the hell is going on there? The only thing crazy about this game, honestly, is trying to talk while playing chess. I never talk while I play chess, ever. Like I am dead silent. I listen to music, usually like chess music. There's a YouTube playlist called Soft Chess Music, Queen's Gambit style. It's really cool. So it kind of disrupts the flow. Okay, Simp Exterminator. I've got to tell you, like, you're probably gonna run out of time if you're gonna play at this pace. You got to be mindful of time, man. I don't know how experienced you are. Maybe you're really good and you're just like planning a master attack right now, but you got 6 minutes and 24 seconds, and I've got 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Like you're massively down on time. If we get into the middle game right now, like I think you're pretty much cooked. That's not making it any better at all. Do I want to do that? Honestly, not really. So I'm good. I mean, you're not playing badly. I just think you're running out of time at this point. Kinda. That's interesting. I mean, you're giving up a center pawn for what though? To get a mild advantage there? I don't necessarily understand that move. I mean, sure. But no. What am I missing here? Someone help me. What am I missing? Actually, you can't help me because I can't see the screen. Maybe I should check the screen. People are like, Rob. Did you? Are you suggesting that I've made a big blunder? Well, clearly it must be a really huge blunder because I'm not seeing it. Someone said use the queen to take the pawn. Why? That would expose this pawn right here. I like to keep my center pawns. Not at all costs, clearly. Like, I'm not obsessed with it, but I don't see a reason to weaken the middle. There we go. I mean, that's something. Nice try. I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to do that. That it was protected. Like, it was protected. But again, I'm preserving that center pawn for some reason. And you're also like half the time. I don't know. Should I be talking shit? I don't feel like talking shit because I don't feel very comfortable with what I'm doing right now. But like, I'm 95% sure you're going to lose. Okay. I'm feeling a little, hang on. Let's see here. How comfortable I am with the fact that you're going to lose. Dun, dun, dun. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fork. And not one that is easily protected against right now. A multitude of issues exist right now. Number one, my rooks have both my, like, actually, weirdly enough, this is smart. So I have a very weird pawn structure where I don't have a single 3-pawn pairing, right? Now this is interesting because this creates a massive weakness. Right now he's going to have to take, right? And I'm going to fork his king and queen. Now, am I missing something that would be even better? I'm not sure. He takes, disrupts, and this could be, I don't say like over. It's not over. No, by no means is it over. No. Let's see here. It might be kind of low-hanging fruit to take this, especially because it's just a pawn, bro. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to trust that I'll win this game on time. But all the grasshopper stuff, that's excessive. Like, you have not played a good enough game to be talking shit right now. I mean, it's technically even. It's just you're so down on time. And it's not really even. Like, I should probably just do this, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should. Unless you're like a really good blitz player, you're going to lose this game. Okay. Sure. Should I care about my pawn? I guess. Also good to double pawns on an open rank file when you can. Also good to avoid this little thing that he's got going on here, or he or she, I apologize, has got going on here. Never an advantage. Also a really good idea to get your king involved in the end game. I wonder if Simp Exterminator is going to start moving their king right now. That's interesting. Sure. I mean, look, like I'm missing opportunities everywhere, left and right, right? Like, and I'm pretty sure I know what the next move is. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, you're gonna run out of time, dude. That was a weird move. If you want a pizza party, if you win now, if you beat me now, I'll definitely get you pizza. That's not happening. Okay. Let's see. One. Oh boy. Okay. That's not good. I say pizza. This guy says, all right, man. Pizza will get him motivated. Okay. Nice. Now, if I were to go here, believe it or not, oh my God, I shudder at the thought of even moving my cursor there in the event. That would be checkmate. If I went here, he can go there, that's mate. So yeah, like not totally out of the woods, but definitely scary. Now, I'm tempted to go after this pawn here, and I have plenty of time to debate whether I should or not. But if I go after this pawn, his next... What the hell just happened here? Did he quit? What happened? What happened there? Did you quit? What the hell happened? No, he did not. What? He did not checkmate me. Stop it. Are you a troll, Medved? No, he did not. It shows my time is still running? What are you talking about? No, this is a different person. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. I need to go back and check. What the hell happened there? It's... What happened? You disconnected? What happened, man? It doesn't even show the game as having happened. Okay. I haven't left the game. I'm still here. Well, then what? Why can I not see the game? Like, you were dead. You were done. Sorry, I'm not seeing it anywhere. If I click play, you don't show up. Sorry, I've never seen that before. I've played close to 4,000 games, 3,000 games on chess.com. I've never seen that. Okay. Anyways, you were lost. I guarantee it. There's no way I was going to go for the bait that you were doing. I was just explaining what you were going to do. Anyways, it doesn't show the game. Sure, absolutely. Anyways, interesting. We dwindled the audience from 440, 450 people talking about basketball to 222 people watching me play people in chess. That's cool. I have no idea what the point of any of this was. What was the point of this? I think the point of this was just to say thank you guys so much for I honestly I didn't. I think we can all see my screen. I didn't, but whatever. That's weird. Anyways, I have no idea what happened. I've never seen that, but sure. That's weird. Tying chess to life in basketball. Yeah, I mean, in general, I think, when we I played a person once. This was in France, and they sacrificed their queen pretty much in the fourth move. And I was just like, what is this idiot doing? And I thought they were a complete fool. And then they mated me on the next move, and I didn't see it. I didn't see what they were doing, but it seems like such an obviously idiotic move to bring out your queen that early. But they knew what they were doing. I didn't see what they were doing. I'd never seen someone do that before. I didn't study the game. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, sometimes it looks like people are just cooked, washed. And this front office has looked washed for years. They make a lot of mistakes, but I think you have to look at the longer term vision of what they're trying to build up. I know a lot of people want this team to tank. A lot of people want this team to blow it up. But you look at the history of NBA playoff champions, which is what, we're told what Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster want to do with this team. They want to have championships. We're going to win championships. Okay. So if you want to win championships, you need playoff scars, you need battle scars, you need, reps, you need failures, you need rounds where you go deep, where you're actually favored to win and you lose. The Raptors getting swept by Washington. That's a battle scar. That makes you work harder in the offseason. It shows you, it exposes your game. I think the most important thing that the playoffs do that people don't talk about enough is it shows you who you are for you. It's one thing for a coach to go and tell you that you need to work on your jumper. It's too slow. It's not going to work. And but then you come out, in a regular season game against Charlotte and you splash 40, right? And then you think you're good. You're a good player, not realizing Charlotte barely scouted you. You caught him sleeping. They had a bad defender on you. They're not a good team, etc., etc. The guy who's guarding you had a late night. He had a fight with his girlfriend. See, when you raise the stakes, the fakes get exposed. Shows you who you are. Also shows your front office who you are. Really big time. It shows me what your attention to detail is, what your compete level is. It shows me what your next gear is as a player, right? There are a lot of players in this league that have like another gear that they can go to, when the competition is up, leverage is up, detail. The playoffs force you to do what you don't want to do. If you can't go left, like RJ Barrett, he's a left-hand dominant player. He will be forced to go right a lot on his drives in the playoffs, especially if you play a really good team that's detail-oriented. If you're, facing a Miami in the opening round or in the second round, or if you face a Boston, no, not so much. Boston, no. I mean, Boston's good, but they'll overwhelm you, right? I don't think they're going to tactically kill you. Nick Nurse may tactically expose who you are a little bit. He'll force Siakam, if Siakam's on the team, into like weird things that he doesn't want to do necessarily. Throw things at you that disrupt your rhythm, maintain rhythm for them, things of that nature. I've seen a lot of players get exposed in the playoffs, and I think playoffs, going up against the Boston Celtics over and over, Pistons get over and over, getting beaten. That's an important part of Michael Jordan's journey that people don't talk about enough. They talk about the 6 championships without talking about the failures because they think that the failures, in a weird way, humanize him. But he's human. They didn't rig the league for him to go through it roughshod. He played a pretty competitive league. The 90s were awesome. There were plenty of stars. I mean, early 2000s, you want to know like fraud, championships. That's the fraud championship era. The league was washed of talent, really void of talent between the year 1999 and 2007, I'd say. 2008 is when it started to pick back up. But those championships in those 7 years have asterisks next to them, for me, at least. You still have to win them, sure. But when I stack those teams and the teams they had to beat to get there, that's where I say like historical comparisons are really hard. Cross eras, the sport has changed. Right now we are in the age of pace, space, versatility, switchability, right? Everything is gearing towards more skill, more offense, more speed, more transition, more shots. Funny, Sam Mitchell was onto something. More shots. We need more shots. Yes, you need more shots. You need more shots from deeper range. You need more shots at a quicker pace. You need to start firing. When I was growing up, this is exactly how coaches told you not to play. You don't take corner threes in transition. You don't take above the break threes if your post option is looking for an entry. You just don't do this stuff. It's unheard of. It's uncalled for. But then Steph Curry comes along and he's just like, let me show you how to play basketball. And that's the influence of Steph Curry. But it's not just Steph Curry. Dame does it. All these Trey does it. There's so many guards. And it's not always been successful because the reality is there's so much more to the equation that you need. The Golden State Warriors, to me, built like the perfect team. Think about the pieces that they had and how they did it. They had a generational talent, IQ, decision making, thinking, leadership, work ethic, etc. in Steph at the top, basically stretching the floor out to the half court. Okay, now you have a bigger runway, which means you have wider angles to drive, bigger angles for screens, right? But did it work with just Steph and 4 any guys? No, Steph with 4 any guys doesn't make it out of the first round. No, what you needed to have was, how do we take the space that we're creating with Steph and then rub salt in the wound to anyone who tries to take any of it away? You try to take space away from Steph and he goes downhill. Now you're completely screwed, because whether it's him going downhill or Draymond going downhill, they not only move fast, they think fast. And when it comes to teaching the game, which is why I'm kind of perturbed by all the, sudden Steve Kerr, sucks at basketball, coaching basketball, DeMarcus Cousins coming out saying they need to shift, they need to move away from him. I have an issue with this because I think he's a fantastic coach, a considerably better coach than Nick Nurse. If you're going to praise one's acumen, I think Steve Kerr is a phenomenal, teacher of basketball. I've learned so much listening to him talk about basketball. It's impossible for me to understand how a person who is so great at teaching the game and thinking the game and just philosophizing the game is suddenly losing his locker room and people hate him. DeMarcus Cousins is really close to Draymond Green, by the way. Think that might have something to do with anything? I digress. The point is, it doesn't work without all the ancillary pieces that people like to kind of talk about as Steph's, bus party, or guys who just tagged along for the ride. They did not. They were huge. Harrison Barnes. a guy that, we targeted with the Kings trade yesterday. Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Kevon Looney, Andrew Bogut. There have been so many. Kevin Durant. There's so many guys who've been a part of it. Zaza Pachulia. I mean, there's so many guys who've been a part of these rotations and a part of these lineups. But really, it was that death lineup that epitomizes everything that entire era was about, which was maximum space. Draymond erases space. Whoever you force him to guard, whether it's a guard in his prime, probably one of the 5 best defenders of all time. Is that Cap? No, it's not. Him, who are the 5 best defenders of all time? Draymond, Bill Russell, Sidney Moncrief, Scottie Pippen. I'm not sure who the 5th would be there. Jordan? No, not Jordan. Hakeem? Imani Bates with 38. In an NBA game? That's wild. That's great. All of his defenders are suddenly Gary Payton. Yeah, I like Glove. So you take into consideration like what exactly they did, and they really just completely inverted the entire space equation. Oh, you don't take threes, we're going to take like more than anybody, and you don't play fast. Okay, teams that shoot, teams that take a lot of jump shots can't win championships. Boom, we're going to defeat that. Can't have a 6'5" center who doesn't shoot threes. Boom, Draymond Green. Maximum space. Draymond Green is not a great three-point shooter. He's a guy who's willing to pull. By the way, Marc Gasol wasn't a great three-point shooter. The year that he was with us, I believe he was one of the most open three-point shooters in the league. I think, if I remember the numbers correctly, I think he was close to 90% open on his shots, and he bricked all of them. He bricked so many. It's not shade on Marc Gasol. Love Marc Gasol, but he wasn't a great shooter. He's no like Karl Anthony Towns, right? But because he's out there, he's creating space because he's an excellent screen setter and a phenomenal decision maker. Marc Gasol was so underrated and such a huge part of that championship run. It's so funny now to see Jonas Valanciunas, launching threes. But let me tell you something. Jonas Valanciunas, no matter what the PER or rebound per game or blocks per game or points per game, it doesn't matter. Field goal percentage, it's never going to matter. He is a heavy-footed, lumbering big who struggles in space. Is it better that he shoots threes than he doesn't shoot threes? Hello, Jakob Poeltl? Yes, it's much better that he shoots threes. It provides you an option. But this is not exactly the type of player that creates maximum space. He can't put the ball on the floor, right? He's not a great passer, right? He's not overly athletic or bursty. You see how when I'm sure you guys saw it when we were playing against the previous two teams, when Emmanuel quickly goes downhill, is just massive panic. It will get better as he becomes a bigger star. It'll get better. But when he goes downhill, it's panic. When Scottie goes downhill, it's panic. When Siakam goes downhill, it's panic. Why? Because these guys have proven themselves to be capable of finishing in that place. Why is it not the same thing when Gary Trent Jr. or Dennis Schroeder do it? Because they have proven that they can't finish. So at the end of the day, the team knows the scouting report is as follows. If this player is above league average or significantly above league average on this type of play or from this place on the court, then we have to push them away to a place on the court or to a play style that they're not good at. So if Scottie struggles with pick and roll as a pick and roll ball handler, then I'm going to try to force the ball out of whoever handles the ball and force him into that action. If Scottie struggles putting the ball on the floor and taking a jump shot like a pull-up jumper, or if he struggles going left on his drives, or if he struggles turning over his right shoulder, then guess what? As a defender, as a team, as a coach, as a staff, I'm telling every defender, when he bumps you, force him to his weaker hand, force him to the pull-up, force him to this. If even if he's not a great three-point shooter, let's say there are three-point shooters like this, where on catch and shoots, they're like 42%. But the minute they put the ball on the floor and have to do anything of any consequence with it, it goes down to like 30%. Well, guess what? 40% sucks for me as a coach defensively. 30% is great. Take 30% threes all day. I don't care. 30% threes is friggin' awesome. No problem with 30% three-point shooters bombing all day. You take that shot all game, I win. So that's the analytics influence on the game. People always talk about it because, like the common criticism of analytics is, well, how does Nikola Jokic have defensive boxes minus of this or whatever? But they're not realizing that actually analytics are exactly why the game is the way it is right now. It is exactly why it is right now. And the scouting, and man, I wonder how Michael Jordan, I want to be careful when I say this. I wonder how Michael Jordan would do today. I personally think he'd be fantastic. But it would be interesting to see a more evolved. Well, first of all, offense has never been easier. So I just want to say, for the record, I think he would average like 40 points per game. But it would be interesting to see him today, not because I don't think he could be dominant. It's just he would be dominant in a completely different way because the rules of the league and the defense and the attention to weaknesses and stuff would expose things and push him further from the basket. I think he'd be a bomber from three. Honestly, not only do I think he'd be the best player in the league as Scott plays 2K. Johnny P. DeRosa. I'm surprised the Raptors lost to the Kings, and I'm a Kings fan. Cool. I'm not surprised at all. I wanted them to win, but I did not expect. Kobe was better than MJ. Rest in peace, Mamba. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't close. Not close offensively, not close defensively, not close as anything. Sorry. Only argument is longevity, and that's it. That's the only argument. There's literally not one thing. If you say passing, you're crazy. You need to go watch the year where Jordan ran point for a bit. Anyways, yeah. So that's the point. Free throws slow down the game, right? So they want to. Bro, MJ does everything Kobe does, but on a higher level. Kian saying your opinion, but sorry, you're wrong. I don't know who you're talking to. Clay. Cool. Anyways, my long short point of this is if you look at the team of players that the Raptors are building with, guys like Emmanuel Quickley and Scottie Barnes, Christian Koloko, they're very future-proofed players, right? They have athletic profiles that project very well if you yourself can imagine where this league will be in 5 years in terms of where we're heading in terms of offensive rating, where we're looking at, in terms of player size, like we're going towards bigger guards. That might be a problem, for us if we start. And I think if you can think about it from that perspective, you can also try to project maybe a more accurate expectation of what the Raptors could expect back for Pascal Siakam, because I think you want to future-proof. Like you don't want one-dimensional players. You want multi-dimensional players who understand their role. You don't want smaller athletes. Ideally, you want bigger athletes with length, right? You don't want to cap yourself. And too often, I think when I see like Pascal Siakam trades being presented, there's almost always like this notion of bringing back another backcourt player. I don't think we need backcourt players. Unless Dennis Schroeder is moving on, I don't think we need backcourt players, or like you're swapping Gary for somebody. I don't really need backcourt players. I need wings, like really good big wings. And so therein lies, the crux of this video and why this video exists. It was apparently to play terrible chess for an hour and to express that I am a very, very big Jarace Walker fan. All right. With that being said, I think this video has gone well past its time. And would you take a trade proposal today? 3-team trade idea with Pascal? Sure. Before we leave, please present me your 3-team trade idea, and I will tell you if it's good or if I like it or if it's not good or whatever. This live cannot go past 3 hours. There's nothing that would justify this live going that long. Man, I'm so sorry. My bad, Andrew. I'm like on a very late schedule right now because the Raptors are playing on a West Coast road trip, and I don't want to be sleepy during these lives. Sometimes I have to take a coffee before these lives because I know that sometimes they can go a little bit long. I'm not fresh paint. I'm not seeing your trick. I'll keep it for another day. Give you some rest. Sure, man. Thanks a lot. Okay, make sure to hit the like on the way out. I was super duper appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow after the Warriors game. Look out for Kuminga, and I don't know. I think we can have a lively discussion. It's been really interesting to see Masai and Bobby are on the trip with the Raptors. I have a feeling this is because they are about to make a trade. I'm getting this nudging feeling, or this nagging feeling, that they're there for a reason, that these guys are busy guys. They don't have to be on the road with the team, but the fact that they're in Sacramento, and then of course the Shams report breaks while they're in Sacramento that the Raptors are talking to Sacramento Kings, and then it comes out like right away that they're not. So I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting because two of the teams that you're exploring Siakam trade talks with are teams that you're playing back to back. Schedule makers are gods. This could turn into a very happy road trip. Chinky Eye saying, I'm loving OG on my Knicks. I miss IQ though. Facts. Yeah. I don't know. Grange reporting Warriors don't want to include Kuminga. They played him 36 minutes last night after benching him for 18 minutes to close the game against the Nuggets. And everyone was saying like, oh my God, they're winning. And look, they won with him playing 36 minutes. They played the Pistons, bro. He's not that good. And they know that. They know that. They have to know that. Like, there's no way Mike Dunleavy, who did not draft him, by the way, and Steve Kerr, who's coached him for 3 years, are this far apart on who this player is. So I don't think so, man. I mean, Grange is, I don't want to take anything away from Michael Grange. Same person who told you Raptors are looking at Suggs, right? Same person. I'm hearing it Suggs. So Masai and Bobby don't leak shit to the media, regardless of who that person is. Yeah, I'm sure Grange, given that he's on the road with the team, will observe things that the average person doesn't. But they're not phoning him up like, agents phone up Shams like, hey, put this out, put that out. No, it's not like that. So I don't think so. And certainly, who does he know, like in the Warriors? Like, okay, this is just reporting, whatever. This is fluff. People always put this shit out. It's posturing. It's to drum up. It's to keep the guy's name in the news cycle. I'm sorry. Like, I don't get it. Like, Jonathan Kuminga's a good young player. I think of him like a very incomplete puzzle piece. I'll vastly prefer Jarace Walker or Onyeka Okongwu over him. Even if I can fully agree that if he could put it all together, if everything clicked, if everything was right, he'd be the best player. I know that. Athletes are athletes. How you move is how you move. How you jump is how you jump. But how you think is also how you think. And I think that Jonathan Kuminga is not a very good player right now. Will he become one later? I don't know. Hopefully. Good for him. I hope so. But I don't want it to be on the Raptors. Anyways, subscribe, please. And everyone says he's a controlled mouthpiece. Everyone says that. Now, I wonder if that's actually true. And if that is true, that's scary because he had some very, very negative Scottie stuff last year, which I did not agree with. Anyways, talk to you later, guys. See ya.